This week's episode of I Was a Teenage Film Snob is a collaboration with the We Love Horror podcast. Go and check out Michael's page on Instagram, TikTok, and support his show wherever good podcasts are found. You're in for a good one.
Welcome to I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I'm James Chalmers, your friendly neighborhood film snob. And guys, we have an action-packed episode this week. This is probably the most anticipated I've been for any episode. No offense to my previous guests who are all amazing, but this has been this one's been in the making for a while. As you all know, about 6 months ago, I was very lucky enough to interview Tyler Hanson and Harley Bronwyn on their Scream project. You know this because I've mentioned it on every episode since, because I'm a bragger. But the best part of that wasn't meeting those guys, as lovely as they were. It was the connections I made afterwards. I've already appeared on a couple of shows from of other podcasters who interviewed them. I've had a couple of them on already, and tonight we close the loop. The last outstanding podcaster is coming on the show. He has a killer show. It's a very, very good horror show. We Love Horror, where every week he talks about different horror movies. I went on it and I took up 3 hours of his time. He's a wonderful podcaster, very, very lovely guy, very, very smart. And we're going to have a ball tonight. I can feel it. So please welcome, finally, after months of planning, from We Love Horror, it's Michael Siri.
James, how are you?
It is so good to finally have you here.
I know, and might I say, you really know how to make a man feel special with all these compliments. You know,
I really.
I'm not fishing. I'm not fishing for them, but you can keep them coming. It makes me feel real good. Thank you.
That's a reference to something that happened before the show. It's really important to me. I really build people up before the show, and I find when I write the notes down, I'm worse at it. So I try to just freestyle it. But no, I love your show. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you, and I love your show as well. And aside from your show, I just love you as a person. Like you and I, thank you again, Tyler and Harley, for bringing me and James together, because without that show, I'm sure, our paths would have crossed at some point, because the podcasting network that you and I are both in is pretty small, I would say. I feel like we have a lot of the same friends, a lot of the same followers and stuff like that. So I feel like our paths would have crossed at some point, but I don't know how soon they would have crossed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we would be sitting here right now in this very moment if we hadn't connected through Tyler and Harley. So thank you guys. But more than that, like, just thank you, James, for just being so amazing and supportive and all of the adjectives, all of the great adjectives. Because, not only have we become friends on a professional level, but we've also become friends on a personal level. Like, I think you and I talk pretty much daily, if we can.
Pretty close to daily, yeah. We talk a lot, and that's all because of you. Like you meant, like I was when I started the podcast just over a year ago now. It was just a new hobby for me. Like I'd done podcasts in the past, but they'd always relied on someone else to be a co-host, and I was like, I'm just gonna do my own thing. But it was more about just me finding something to do. Like post-COVID, I hadn't. I kind of locked myself away a lot, and I didn't really hang out with my friends too much. I was just kind of doing my own thing, and I was talking to no one about movies. So I was like, I'm just gonna do this for me. Like, it's just gonna be like a bit of an experiment, and like if 3 people listen, like that's huge. And we just crossed 600 listens the other day, which was awesome, and we like knocked out like I think 40 streams in 3 days, which is I think a record for us, which was great. But it wasn't even about that. It was just about me connecting with people again. And I talked about on my anniversary show that like I'm learning things about my friends I never knew before. But I would not have had the balls to reach out to anyone. Like I was just very much doing a very self-contained thing. The community is so positive and friendly. It's lovely. Like everyone's so nice on there. Like despite what you hear about the internet, it's not all serial killers and, critics. Like there's some pretty nice people out there. But I just would never had the confidence to do it. And like when Harley reached out about the Scream thing, I was like, okay, like my instincts tell me like 95% chance this is a scam, but I'm going to do it. Like I'll give it a go. And then I listened to your show and I listened to Midnight Terrors. Like those guys are great as well. And I remember like I was so excited because I was the first one to do the interview, and I was like, well, I got through the door first. And then I heard your show and their show, and I'm like, oh man, like they're really good. And so it became less of a competitive thing and more about no, there's room for all of us. But you were I think the most confidence I took in that step was like, well, I'm going to share these shows. Like, even though I haven't, I don't know these guys, I like Tyler and Harley, I'm going to promote their shows, and that way it shows there's no competition. We can all share that space. And then you were very quick to be like, hey, let's just talk. And then it's been like 6 months now of us just talking about movies and life and everything in between, which has been wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I love at first you were like, you've shared this story before on mine and on yours, where when I first reached out to you, you weren't sure. You were like, I don't know, and then your wife was like, he's just nice. I think he's just being nice. Like, I always think that's so funny whenever you tell that story, because like I get that though, because like just a random person out of the blue just being like, hey, let's chat, let's be friends. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit older than you. Not too much. I'm a little bit older than you. And when I grew up, like the internet was around, but like when I was in school, like they were like, and this is the internet. Like this is the first time it's been in a school, and we were like, whoa. And so we were just like told all the things to watch out for. So when people are genuinely nice online, my hackles raised. I'm like, well, I don't know about this. Like this.
You're like, what are your intentions? What are what are you scheming?
Yeah, exactly. And because you are so friendly, like you were just like, I'm going to ask any question. I was like, oh, I don't know if I should be answering questions about my family on the internet. Like,
yeah. Sorry, I have no filter sometimes. Like,
not at all. I mean, look, I was on your show back in January. Well, we recorded in January. I think I showed up in February or whenever it was when it finally dropped, and I had no filter on that episode. Like, I was just a maniac on that show. So.
I had a blast. Thank you for coming on, and I can't wait to have you on again, because I think you and I are going to probably plan something in the works very, very soon. So,
well, I'm hoping, like, this episode isn't going to be out for a week or so, but tomorrow I'm hoping to see Beau is Afraid, which is the new Ari Aster film, which I know you and I are both huge fans of his work. So, so we might be able to talk about that, or who knows what we'll be able to talk about. I've also heard rumors that there's like a giant crossover between 3 shows coming up that we're all meant to be involved in, which sounds very cool.
Yes.
I don't know when we're going to do it. Like, I still haven't listened to that episode because I know that you crossed over with Midnight Terrace and you had Tyler on, which I was like, it's a party I want to be at. Like, that sounds great. But you guys are talking about Scream 6, but I still haven't seen. So it was, I couldn't have been on that show anyway.
And have you listened? You probably haven't listened to the episode yet either.
No, I'm going to wait.
Spoilers. So.
Yeah, well, Scream 6 will be out in physical media, I think, in about a month. So once that drops and I watch it, then I'll be able to listen to your show. But I don't want to get anything spoiled for me.
Well, if you have Paramount Plus, it's already out on Paramount Plus. So
I don't think we have Paramount Plus in Australia. I'm not sure.
Oh, that sucks.
We might.
You guys don't get freaking certain releases in Australia. You don't get
I mean, like, I always talk about myself being the most positive guy in podcasting. I've been on a few rants lately. Like, I used to import so many movies from the UK because we get nothing here in Australia. Like, we're just so there's a distributor in Australia called Monster Pictures. They're fantastic. They do this big festival in Melbourne every year called Monster Fest, and they get independent horror films. It was where I don't know if you saw the film Raw. Raw was screened for the first time, which is a gorgeous film. Love Raw. Like Human Centipede made its debut in Monster Fest. Like all like the really nasty kind of but like not just nasty films, but just like the lower, the ones you don't see massive distribution. So Monster Fest is fantastic, and they do and they now distribute physical media. Like literally like 3 weeks, they're like, hey, you've been waiting a long time, Australia. We're getting Pearl, and I was like, I mean. I imported it from the US in January, but thanks for being timely.
Thanks for making me wait like 7 months after the release. But
we didn't even get X on Blu-ray. Like they only did on DVD, so I had to get my copy of X from the UK, which is a film that we talked about a bit on your show as well.
Yes, that is easily made its way into probably my top 5 favorite horror films of all time. So I fucking love X. And I love Pearl too.
Yeah, they made my top 10. Like they were like in my top 10 for the year last year. Like solid flicks. We've talked a lot about X and Pearl as well. I remember because like, you were like, have you seen Pearl yet? I'm like, I've ordered it. It's coming from the States. As soon as it gets here, I'll let you know. And as soon as it came in, like you were the first person I showed. I was like, it's here. I'm watching it tonight.
I know, it was like literally a daily update. You're like, one more day. Okay, it's almost here. 5 more hours.
And then I remember, are you watching it? I'm like, yeah, but I had to pause it because my wife walked in the room and it's the Scarecrow scene. So give me a second. Like, not that she's a prude, but I'm like, I just don't have to justify what I'm watching.
Well, I always feel like that's so funny that you say that, because every time you watch like a movie like that or something that has like subject matter like that, it's never no one ever walks in on a normal part of the movie. It's always like a part like that. So for example, one of my past roommates that I lived with, I was watching Midsommar one time, and he came home from work. Oh my God, I love that film so much. Also in my top 5 favorite horror films of all time. But
it's in my top 5 films of all time. I love Midsommar.
Yeah.
Like it.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like flex on you.
No,
like,
you're
it's your favorite horrors. It's one of my favorite of all time.
Well, it's probably one of my favorite of all time as well. But he walked in on like the whole like orgy, like sex scene / like the temple burning at the end, and everyone's like screaming, and he was like, so when that ended, he like sat down on the couch and he's like, "What the fuck was that?" And I was like, you'd have to watch the whole thing. It's a little hard to explain.
Well, this is not news to anyone on my show. I think I talked about it on your show as well. Like my favorite genre of horror films is cult films, like anything about cults. And there's not a lot of them, and not a lot of good ones. But if I can get a cult film, I will. So Midsommar, like obviously screamed to me. But the thing about cult films is there's a lot of weird violence, a lot of weird sex. So you really need to be watched either around people who are like-minded or just out of the way of everyone, because it gets pretty weird pretty quickly.
It really does.
Fantastic. Well, tell us a bit. I mean, obviously, I know all about your show, and I've been on it. I've been it like 20 times already. But tell us all. Where does that start for you? Like, why did you start? Because if you listen to my show and you haven't listened to We Love Horror, like you should have, because I promoted it a bunch. But like, you're missing.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Well, I mean, especially when I was on, like, then I was like, guys, you know, if you're not sick of me yet, listen to me talk for a long time on someone else's show. But it's a fantastic show. Like when I listened to it the first time, I was immediately jealous, because I was like, I thought I did a good interview, but this guy's really good. Like, and I was like, and you're unfiltered, like, which is something that I haven't made the step into yet. Like, I do hold things a little bit back. I let my guests run wild, but as the host, I kind of like, I'll be a bit more filtered than that. But I've been talking to a friend. We're looking at doing some premium content soon. And one thing I said to her was like, let's just go uncut. Like in the premium, we'll go uncut. Like I won't hold anything back. And she was like, do it. So if people don't like filter James, it's coming. Don't worry. But yeah, your interview was so fantastic. And then I listened to subsequent interviews, and like your caliber of guests is great. And I imagine your approach, and I will let you answer the question I asked 5 minutes ago in a second. I imagine your approach is very much like mine, which is like, I just want to talk to fun, cool, interesting people, like, and hear what they have to say about movies. That's kind of the way that I did it. And like the guys from Our Life in Horror, Sam, and I can't remember his name. Like they're always wonderful. Brendan, yeah. They're always wonderful when I hear them on. You did an A24 like best of with I can't remember anyone's name. Like I'm so sorry.
Robbie Horror.
Yeah, Robbie Horror. That's right. Yeah. It's not the names that are important. It's the episodes stick with me. But like it's just a fun show, and like even though it's all about horror, it's not just all about horror. Like you get to really enjoy the characters, you know, and the characters being your guests, not the characters in the films, of course. And just the whole setup you do, like the whole breakdown's fantastic. So anyway, now that I've answered the question, where did it come from? Why do you do it? What inspired it? And tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, again, thank you for all the amazing compliments. Like I said, I don't expect them, but they are they're really nice, and it makes me like it's. For starters, like it's people like you, James, that really keep me going with my podcast, because the last 3 years that this podcast has been going, in March I hit the 3-year mark.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. And I missed I had this entire like 3-year anniversary episode planned, and then I had so much shit going on this year that I completely spaced it. I was like almost the end of March when I realized, oh yeah, the 3-year anniversary was like 2 weeks ago. Cool. Well, I missed out on that, so I'll just do the 4-year. It's fine. But I started this podcast like right at the beginning, toward the beginning of the pandemic. So like me and my friend Roman, we actually met at a Halloween party, and we both love movies. Like we're both like so into movies. And so I just kind of struck up conversation with him at the party. I knew his wife from like working with her at the post office and stuff, but I'd really started hanging out with him a lot more after that. And so I kind of pitched this idea. I was like, well, I've been wanting to do this podcast for a while, because for me, like I've always loved talking about movies, but horror films in general have always been like my biggest passion. But I don't know, like, and I've always tried doing YouTube, which I actually branched off into now, which I'll talk about in a minute when I plug all my plug stuff in. But
and it's been quite successful. You get some pretty high view counts on that YouTube. You're doing well.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a good start. I just need to get back into it because I hit a really bad depression spiral for a minute, so I haven't posted anything on there for 2 months. I mean, people are lucky I'm posting to my podcast still, because when I get my depression spirals, I completely shut down. I don't post on social media. I don't freaking post on my podcast. But anyway,
yeah,
sorry.
I hear you. No, it's okay. Like, mental health is not new here. Like, we've definitely talked about it. If anyone who follows my Instagram knows I'm pretty open about it. So I'm just glad that you're pushing through and creating.
Thank you. Yeah, because I'm like, because I'm trying to get in this mindset where I'm like, even if it's tough for me to get out of bed every day and do stuff, like, I still need to do it because it's going to make me feel better in the long run. So that's that's a new habit I'm trying to develop when I'm depressed, like, is not laying in bed and wallowing in my self-pity all day. Like, granted, sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes getting rest and just laying in bed and not worrying about anything for a few days is maybe good, but it's not good if I'm trying to get shit done, So,
yeah, yeah. So I understand completely. Like, we're about to do episode 50. That's going to drop in a couple of weeks. The 1 year anniversary was in February. Like, I am so behind on my episode 50. Like, it's crazy. So I hear you.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just always love talking about movies to whoever will listen to me, mostly horror films. So I was just like, what a great way to be able to, talk about the way I feel about movies, and why not just do it on a podcast? And so I brought up the idea to my friend Roman, and he agreed to it. And we did like the first 6 or 7 episodes together. And then he dropped out of the podcast because he was just so busy with other things like life stuff. So then that really threw me for a loop, because I was like, oh my God, how am I going to continue on? Because I don't have the self-confidence to. Kudos to you, James, for being able to do certain episodes like completely by yourself, because I know you don't always have guests on like every single episode. Sometimes you do like episodes by yourself, from what I remember.
I'm trying to think.
Right?
Oh, I maybe I've done a couple of like little like, I think I've done a couple of intros to like flashbacks and stuff. I tried to. No, in my old podcast I would do solo episodes. I haven't really done solo episodes this time around, but I will do. I'll do like the reels now. That's the new thing for me. Like, I was like, I'm trying to find a way to keep the audience engaged and build. So I'll do like little like 2-minute videos, little quick reviews, little updates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I did once. The first time, or the only time I did a flashback episode, which I hated doing. I was like, I don't want to throw to a show that doesn't exist anymore. I was so concerned about like, I must put out content every week, that I just did something like that. I was going to record like a review of a movie I watched. I was like, this isn't a review show. Like, why am I suddenly putting up reviews just to fill content? I should have just left it as a blank week, but it was so early on in the run. I think it was like episode 13. I was like, I need to have content. And then obviously last year I fell off the map around October. Like, we did Halloween and that was it. And I've had a couple of missed weeks this year so far. But consistency is key, but I don't want to put out content for the sake of content. I'm trying to make sure the content is quality. So I hear like, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I commend anyone who can do like a 1-person podcast, because I'm just like, there's a reason I have guests on every week, because I feel like I have a pretty good personality for the most part, but it's easier for me to have a more fun personality when I have people to bounce off of.
Definitely.
And so I've never been one to be able to do like a 1-man podcast before. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. But it really it threw me for a loop, but it really also opened so many doors for me, because I don't think I would have as many interesting or exciting guests on my podcast as I had if it was just me and Roman doing it every week.
Of course.
So it kind of like gave me an outlet to be more open with the horror community and the podcasting community, and reach out to people. And to answer your question from earlier, for me, it's like I've reached out to like so many big name people in the industry. Like, I just did an episode with Eduardo Sanchez, who directed the Blair Witch Project, which was
that was pretty cool. I was like, whoa, that's insane.
I'm still not over that high, because I was just like, oh my God, like that. As everyone who knows me and has listened to my podcast enough or long enough knows that the Blair Witch Project is like in my top 10 favorite horror films of all time. So to be able to just sit down with that director and talk to Eduardo about that film, it was just like peak moment for me. I was just like, holy shit. Like, I never would have thought 3 years ago that I would have interviewed him on my show. And actually, like, and not just him, but I interviewed Emma Bellamy, who was Dollface in Strangers Pray at Night. Like, I interviewed Anthony DiBlasi, who directed The Last Shift and just directed Malum that came out last month. Like,
oh wow.
So I've made connections and friendships with these people, and it's just like crazy. But beyond that, like I've also made amazing friendships with you and with so many other podcasts, and it's just been such an amazing like experience for me. And it just like it just makes me so happy, like that I've made so many friends, like in the like I feel like I have more friends in the podcasting community now that I have in like real life.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like a bad thing. Like I don't know if that's like get outside and experience life. Don't just like be friends with people online. But I'm just like, I don't know. Like I feel like I've made more meaningful connections on here than I have with a lot of people in my real life. So,
well, I guess like it comes down to, and I'm going to use a phrase that I hate, but it's like finding your tribe, right? Like I hate that phrase, but like if you like, I don't like it. It's something that like, you know, like soccer moms put in their fridge, like, but like there is a kernel of truth to it. Like, you know, I as we all were probably in the podcasting community, like I was the weird kid at school. I had a couple of friends, like, you know, but none of them watched movies the way I did. Like none of them were going to the video store like every week. None of them were going to like, you know, the DVD store every day to see what was new, even though there was no way there was nothing new every single day. Like, and none of them were having the conversations about movies that I was having. Like a lot of the time I was just kind of like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, I guess that was fun. If that's your full review of the film, I guess I'll talk to someone else about it now. Like, it's just, you find the people who you know, who have that same passion as you do, and hopefully you make a connection. And the good thing about it is we all seem to be very similar personalities once we all get together in a room, which is good. And so no, I 100% agree. Like I'm in the same place. I probably have more friends now through the podcast, and like granted, like some of the people in my life this whole time, but I just never sat down and like interviewed them before. Like, hey, let's just talk about life. Let's talk about what do you like and why, and like the things I've learned about people. Or like one of my guests, Maddie, she's my wife's best friend, one of my wife's best friends. I was like, do you want to come on the show? Like we have fun talking when we catch up and stuff. And she was like an undiscovered gem. I was like, oh my gosh, she has so much to say, and like she was such interesting like perspectives. If I didn't put her on the show, I never would have known. I would have just been like, and we probably would have, all of our conversations would have been polite and like cordial, sorry, and like that would have been about it in conversation. But now I'm like, oh, she's a talker, so I can get on the show anytime. Like she's a talker, like, and she likes weird stuff and like stuff that I haven't seen, so it always makes the show interesting. So I definitely appreciate that, and that idea of like connecting with people even if they're not in the real world with you, like it's all online. It's a fantastic show. Like I can't like compliment enough. And like obviously it's really kind of like, I don't know if you're finding this, but I was talking to Kevin from Midnight Terrors, and he said something and I agreed with me as well. Podcasting like builds confidence. You're like, oh, I'm getting better at talking with people. I'm getting better at having conversation. I'm getting better at, you know, for me, it's eye contact, which I'm doing a terrible job with right now, but like just learning to build relationships a lot more. And that guy, like he interviewed John Carpenter. Like, I can't believe that. I was like, what are you...
That's wild. Yeah. I hope to interview John Carpenter one day. That's one of my dreams. But
like my hard to get guest was my mother. Like it took over a year to get her on the show. I was I'm like, okay, plenty of people interviewed John Carpenter. Who's interviewed my mom? Like, be honest, just me.
That was a fantastic episode, by the way. Like you and your mom.
Oh, thanks.
I love your relationship. Your mom is really funny. Like I know where you get it from now. So, because I think you both are really funny. And yeah, I just really enjoyed the episode. So
thank you.
I love your. I fucking. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go.
Oh no, I was just gonna keep praising your podcast because I love it. I love it so much. I think.
Oh, we can definitely make time for that. Like, please.
I think you're fantastic, buddy. I really do. I think I'm so glad you've contributed to the movie genre and the podcasting genre because it needs someone like you, James.
Thank
really.
You. I appreciate that.
And I love your episodes. I think your Midsommar episode is my favorite episode you've done to date. That was the episode where I was like, oh shit, now I really got to show up when I come on his podcast. Because
I mean, like, she was fantastic, wasn't she? Like, she would immediately, I told her, I said, so I'm like, and I was going to use this for her intro when she's on. I think I'm recording with her tomorrow actually, but I guess I'll spoil it for everyone else now. I was going to say, I said to her like this the day after it dropped, I'm like, so I never get feedback on the show, like positive or negative. I don't really get reviews and stuff as much as I beg for them. I don't really get reviews. I said, but I had a buddy reach out to me. His name's Michael. He hosts We Love Horror. It's a really fantastic podcast. He had nothing. I said, there are 3 sentiments you need to take away from what he said about your episode. A, who the hell is this girl? B, what is this chemistry you guys have? And C, now I'm really nervous to be on your show. And she was like, oh, wow. She's fresh, man. She's 21. Yeah. Like, she only got into movies like over COVID and stuff like that. And she's just a talker. So...
yeah, I loved it. And that's another great example of like, I love your guests. I love the people that you have on. I love, like you said, you had your mom on recently. That was really cool. Like, it just like I just feel like you're really, and also your freaking subscribers are going through the roof on Instagram. Or your followers on Instagram. Like, it's crazy. Like, you're getting a really good trajectory now. And it's like
it slowed down a little bit this last week, but I wasn't posting as much. I was going through some mental health stuff I mentioned, so I was just doing Q&A. So I was like, well, this is a way to engage without engaging. But it was like averaging like 50 a week. Like, for like in January, we barely had 200, and now we're like 820, I think, or something like that. Like, it's going to hit that 1K mark soon, and then I'll start spamming everyone with ads. No, I'm just kidding. Like, you can't do that in Australia. It's only for the US. I was like, damn it, I can't make money.
It's which is so exciting.
Something I did on your show was beg for money and followers for about 3 hours.
That's okay. Self promo is never a bad thing. So
that's the I said to my wife, I'm like, and she's like, oh, you're getting some traction. I'm like, I think it's just a shameless promotion. Like, at this point, I'm just like daring the internet to make it work.
You're gonna start like an OnlyFans just to make extra income too. You're like, yeah,
it's gonna be only films. Come on, and
there you go. Yeah,
and it'll just be me in that that world famous Burt Reynolds nude photo, and I'll just have a different Blu-ray cover in front of me in every picture.
It's actually a fantastic idea. I love that idea.
I have to grow out my mustache more like yours though, so I can do the Burt Reynolds look.
Yeah, I've been growing the mustache lately. I wanted to see what it looked like. So
yeah,
I think it fits me, right?
Yeah, definitely. I grow out the facial hair because otherwise I just look like an overweight child. But but yours suits. Yeah, look, the last time we saw each other was back in January, and you didn't have it at that point. You were just starting to grow it out, but it's coming in nicely. So
thank you. Yeah, it's kind of annoying though. I've thought about shaving it multiple times because it's just like
the first couple of times it's tough. Then you just get used to it. People listen to the show and like, oh my god, they're just gonna like compliment each other for 3 hours. Yes, that's what this show is.
We're just gonna love bomb each other the entire episode. Screw the top 5 list that we're gonna be doing. Let's just talk nicely about each other for the next 3 hours.
Top 5 favorite podcasters, and my list is just you 5 times. Your list is just me 5 times.
Yes, exactly. And then everyone else is just honorable mentions. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing, guys. You're fantastic. We just got a real like bro thing going on right now.
Yeah, it's a bromance. That's what they call it.
That's it. Yes. It's anyone who's seen I Love You Man, and like finally a movie's been mentioned. Yep, I Love You Man, fantastic movie. That's it.
Yes.
Thank you for referencing a 15-year-old movie, James. I'm like, well, it's something.
Hey, that's okay. I reference 15-year-old. I've referenced 30-year-old movies most of the time. So.
Oh yeah. Well, this morning a 90s episode dropped. So with Liz and David, and if every single movie that Liz goes through, Liz is my sister-in-law, and she's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil it. I'm like, you can spoil a 30-year-old movie. It's okay. Like, if people haven't seen it by now, like, that's kind of on them because it's been made available in theaters, on VHS, on DVD, on Blu-ray. Like, if they haven't got around to it by now, they either don't care or they don't want it. So don't.
Exactly. They missed the boat on that. But
that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want to check me out, if you guys haven't already, you can find me at the We Love Horror Podcast. I have an Instagram at the We Love Horror Podcast. I also have a TikTok at the We Love Horror Podcast, which I need to be better about posting on as well. I will say there were a couple of Scream posts that I posted on my TikTok that blew up. Like, I almost have 100K views on one of them, and I was like, holy shit. Like, I just closed my phone. I posted the thing, closed my phone, went on to it like 5 hours later, and was like, holy shit. Like, it was crazy. It was wild.
I remember you told me. I was like, geez, I'm like, he's gonna be famous. I'm like, remember that we're friends when you're famous. Like, I did a reel the other day, and it like crossed 200. It was just me talking. I'm like, like 200 people watch this, and then like you go into the analytics, so there's like average watch time like 12 seconds. So that's okay. Yeah. 200 people saw my face, so we're building.
Yeah, I posted that. You know that post I posted to Instagram a couple months ago with my friend reacting to the Jill Roberts reveal of Ghostface.
Yes.
So that didn't hit traction right away, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it finally found the algorithm, and now I have almost like 10,000 views on Instagram on that, and like almost like 2,000 something likes, and I was like, holy shit, where'd this come from? Like every day it was just people like random people, and I was like, all right, well, it finally hit the algorithm 2 months later, but that's cool.
Look, if I get 30 likes on a post, I'm like, oh, you've made it, well done. Like,
right. I'm like, sorry, I sound like I'm like flexing. I'm really not flexing.
No, like you've been doing this for 3 years. Like it takes time. Like, I think we all have delusions of grandeur where like, I'm going to drop episode 1 and it's just going to blow up overnight. Like that's what we all secretly hope. But there's no way. Like the key to it is consistency, and like you are consistent. And again, like the product is strong. Like there's, I haven't listened to any. Like I don't listen to a lot of independent podcasts. Like, but like the ones I have heard, like there's nothing like your show. Like there's no host like you. So it's very easy to listen to. Even when you had the horror dads on, you guys were doing like your Halloween movies. I was like, this is great. Like.
Thank you. Like that's so nice. Like that makes me feel so like good, because I don't know. I do have like a lot of confidence issues. So there's days where I'm just like, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. Like I don't know if people are enjoying it enough. And then like when you say stuff like that, or when I get like a random comment on Instagram or like a random DM from somebody that I don't even know that's like, I love your show, and I'm like, holy shit, like this is actually really reaching a lot of people, and it means a lot. So thank you.
I think we need to hear it, like, and not because we're like tortured artists who need like constant affirmation, but like when you put something out there, like it's no longer yours, like you're putting out there, it becomes the product of the listeners, but you invest all this time in it. Like I don't think people realize how much time goes into it. I try to make my podcast producing as time safe as possible, so I will spend the most time recording. I used to edit a lot. I like on previous shows before this podcast. I don't do that anymore. I've built it in a way that I can just like cut off the front, cut off the end, drop the theme song, and away we go. I can't. Because so much time goes. Like there's so much time. Like because it's not just the recording and the editing, but it's like scheduling. Like I had to buy a whiteboard, which you can see behind me now. Like, and that's planned out until the middle of June. Like trying to like coordinate things. Like I've got this episode 50 coming up, and I'm doing an all-star show, like people who've had multiple, like, do you know how hard it is to coordinate the schedules of 5 people like who work full time?
Oh, trust me. Trust me, I've tried.
It's crazy. Like, and like some people are really good at texting. Some people are a little bit more like, blasé with the texting. So I'm like, when I'm saying I need this date, I'm really asking one of you, like, please confirm this date.
Yeah.
I remember, like, when I told you, I've recorded half of the 50th episode, and guys, we will talk about Michael more soon, I promise. I told you what we're doing, and you're like, oh, can I come on? And I was like, oh, well, you've never appeared on the show, so, like, by definition, you wouldn't be an all-star, but, like, you're great. Like, yeah, let's get you on. But this is what time we were recording, and I was like, it's going to be like 2 a.m. for you. And you're like, oh, I have work. And I was like, I can't escape people's work schedules.
Especially when you and I are like 15, 16 hours apart from each other. It is a little difficult.
You have a very unusual sleep schedule, because I'll be texting you, and I'm like after we caught up, or after we first started catching up, I put the Utah world clock in my phone because like I don't want to like mess him in the middle of the night, and then you're messaging me at like 3 a.m. anyway. I'm like, all right, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yep. Because I'm guessing nights,
so I was gonna say that's probably got to do with the post office, I imagine. So.
Yeah. I work nights at the post office, and I just it's not bad, but I don't want to work nights forever, but it does make me more available during the day, which is difficult because most people work a regular 9 to 5, and I work like a 7:30 to 4 in the morning. So it's hard to regulate schedule sometimes with people, but I make it work.
That will be the curse when we do eventually achieve immortality and become full-time podcasters, which I know is the dream, to get paid to talk about movies 5 days a week. Then we're really going to struggle to schedule podcasts because everyone's going to be working. We'll be like, I've got all this free time. All I do is this now. Like,
exactly.
That's why you got to take some people with you. I've tapped a few people on the shoulder. I'm like, when this gets big, not if, when, quit your jobs and I'll pay you, and we'll just talk about movies every week. So
yes.
That's what's the phrase I always say. Like early on, I was like, "We're the new rock stars." That's what we are, Michael. We're the new rock stars. Like podcasting.
We're the new pod stars.
Yeah. Okay. So, long story short, check out Michael's show. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
But tell me, before the podcast, there has to be a love of film. So where does it begin for you? Are you a lifelong movie fan? Does it hit you in high school?
Yeah.
When does it all begin for you?
Oh, it's been like lifelong for me. I think the first I grew up with like so many like influential films because I'm a 90s baby, so I was born in 92, so you know, Mrs. Doubtfire, The Sandlot, Dennis the Menace, like all these movies I watched like on a loop every freaking day when I was a kid. Titanic was another one. I think Titanic.
I was being Titanic kid as well. It's a weird thing to be a kid and be into Titanic, but yep.
Oh, I mean, that's not to spoil my list later, but that's on my list. So, but like, I grew up like kind of watching horror films from a distance. Like I would see stuff that my dad was watching, and I remember certain scenes like scarred me for life as a child. That years later, it took me years to be able to watch these films once I was into horror because of just how much it affected me. But yeah, and then I think like what really catapulted my love of horror, and I talk about this all the time, so thank God I'm talking about it on a podcast I haven't talked about it on already, is I saw the 2004 remake of Ju-on, which was The Grudge. I saw that in theaters with my dad. I begged my dad to take me to that movie. I was like, I want to see that movie. I was, I think, about to turn 12 when that movie came out. I was still 11 years old. And so my parents were like, okay, we'll take you to this movie, but you can't sleep in the bed with us when we get home, blah, 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 you know, all that stuff. So I went and saw it, and it's just like such a sense memory thing. Like I remember the smell of the theater. I remember like sitting down, and and that movie is almost 20 years old now, but I still remember it like it was yesterday. And I don't know, like after getting out of that movie, The Grudge not only catapulted my love for horror, but also catapulted my like love for film. Like I knew that that's what I wanted to do. Like from a young age, like I'd been picking up video cameras and filming random stuff, but I think that was the time when I realized that film was what I wanted to pursue full time. Like I want to do films when I grow up. So yeah, just that, and I've just been a lover of film ever since. Horror films ever since, but always a lifelong lover of film.
Yeah, and were you like a video store kid? Like you're old enough, you know, no offense, to have been around during the video store era.
I am. Yeah. No, I am old. I turned 30 this year, so I was
30's
like,
easy.
Geez.
30's so easy. I think I told you on your birthday. I was like, "Happy birthday!" If no one's told you, 30's easy. Like,
yeah, actually, it did feel kind of. It didn't feel as like traumatic as I thought it, because I thought I was going to be like, "Oh my god, I'm 30," but I actually like came into my 30s with like much more of like a, I guess, confidence in knowing myself. I still have a long way to go, but
that's the thing. Yeah, I remember I had two existential crises as a young man. The first was at the age of 19 because I was turning 20, and I was like, oh my god, like a fifth of my life is over, because I believed I'd live till 100. I'm now aware that's not going to happen. And then the next one, when I was 24, and I was like, I'm turning 25, I'm almost a quarter of the way through my life. Still thought I was going to live to 100. But 30, I was waiting for that existential crisis to come, and never did. I'm like, oh, it's because I get it now. Like, all right, like, I mean, I don't understand how the world works and life works entirely, but I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Like, this is going to be way easier. I know who I am as a person now. Like, I've kind of figured that part of life out, I think. So 30's easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I like it so far.
Yeah.
But what was the question?
Video stores.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, I was like, what? Hold on. Where were we getting to with this?
I should have warned the audience, like, this is going to be a tangent show. There are a couple of guests, when I have them on, it's going to be not hard to follow, but when you go on tangents. The first guest is Nick Owen. He always goes on tangents. The guest you complimented so well before, Samantha, going to be tangents. With you, going to be tangents. Like, we're going to go all over the map, and that's the best kind of show for me. So
I agree. I think the more we have to talk about, the better. Honestly, it's better to edit out content if you need to than not have enough content to edit.
Oh yeah, there have been a couple.
That's my philosophy.
I'm like, are we going to hit the hour mark? It needs to be an hour. Like I can't do it. If it's less than an hour, like what have I done wrong?
Yeah. That's how it was when I recorded with Eduardo the other day. Like I asked him, I was like, how much time do you have? And he's like, I have about like an hour. And I was like, okay, we can make that work. Literally, we finished the recording in an hour and like 30 seconds, I think. And I was like, wow, that could not have been timed more perfect. But anyway, yeah, I loved, it's kind of sad that we don't live in that day and age anymore where there's no more video stores where you can just like go and everything's like digital now, or you just go to Walmart to pick up a movie or Target or wherever. But like, I don't see many video stores around anymore where you can just go in and just buy. Like, I just loved going into, Blockbuster and seeing all of the horror. Like I loved, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this actually. Like I was too scared to watch the movies, but I was always fascinated by like the covers.
Me too.
Of, like, the VHSs. Like I would walk down the aisle and I would just look at all these covers. And yeah, they just stuck out to me because they were just so, I don't know. There's just something magical about like that time.
Those old like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street covers, like the poster art is gorgeous. Like looks so good. And there's I remember one movie that I still have never seen, and I'm sure it's probably not very good. I try to be positive on the show, but I'll be honest, there was a movie that I still remember the cover to this day. It was for a movie called Pinocchio's Revenge. And it's a horror film, but like about Pinocchio just killing people. I guess it's like a rip-off of Deep Red or whatever the Dario Argento film's called. And it's just a picture of a puppet like holding a knife. I'm like, as a kid, I was like, what is this? This is terrifying, but I'm sure it's good.
I always remember, there's one that sticks out to me, and it's the Ghost Ship one, where it was like, when you moved the VHS, the skull would show up.
It had like a lenticular cover, and then
I remember that one. Yeah,
I've seen that movie once, and I can't remember anything except for the iconic scene at the start, which is the zip wire, which is incredible.
Talking about a scene, we were just talking about scenes that traumatized me when I saw them as a kid. That scene fucked me up. That is like, oh my gosh, that is like that's probably my favorite like kill scene of all time. It's just like that because like it's
interesting.
It's wild. Yeah, it's really creative too.
Yeah, it's really. I'm trying to think if there's a better kill. Like you might be onto something there.
Well, and I love the build up to it too, because you get like the woman singing on stage, like she's singing and the music's like rising, and you see everyone like slow dancing on the deck, and you see like the thing like slowly like spinning, like the wire thing, and then all of a sudden it just fucking goes batshit crazy, and you see like the wire cut through everyone, and oh my gosh, yeah, that scene's wild.
I think like just for pure body count, it's got to take the top spot, because like you can go down the route of Saw, which is like, oh well, there's very creative kills, but it's generally like one at a time. It's a very long, drawn out process. Or some of the kills in the first Resident Evil film, like with the lasers and stuff, they're pretty like interesting.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what that was one of the first kill scenes that really messed me up. Or like Final Destination is another one. Like there's pretty creative kills there, but I think just for sheer body count, you might have it. I think it's got to be Ghost Ship. Like it's a pretty strong entry.
Pretty brutal.
Maybe the opening one to Final Destination 2 with the logs. That's pretty good as well.
Oh, I love that scene. Yeah,
I just love how that's become a meme online as well. They're like, if you're parked behind one of these guys, you didn't see Final Destination 2. Like,
oh yeah, I don't fuck with that. I don't like if I'm even behind a truck that has like those pipes, like those plastic or metal pipes. I don't.
Do it.
Nope. So I'm like, I've seen this movie before. It didn't end well for anyone.
He should have put it on quiet mode. I did pick you for a video store kid. A lot of people, most of my guests have done the video store thing. So, because I just interview people from my generation, I suppose.
Yeah.
Excellent. I am really excited to get stuck into your list.
Ooh, me too.
I am. So you've said we've got 5. When we're doing 5 of all time, there might be some horror in, but before we organize the show, you're like, am I doing 5 horror or 5 of all time? I was like, it's up to you, but generally the first one is just 5 of all time, but you can throw horror in there.
Yeah.
I put horror in my top 5. So
well, I kind of wanted to, and I talked about this with you before we came on the show, I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different because I am a horror podcast. So I kind of wanted to bring something new. Like I didn't want to do my top 5 favorite horror films. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to change it up and do my top 5 favorite like non-horror films. So I thought that would be kind of like fun from like a horror person's perspective for people to hear my non-horror picks.
I agree.
Anytime I bring those up, people are like, that's not a horror movie. And I'm like, I don't just watch horror films. Like, believe it or not, that I do have other interests, like as far as films go. Like I tend to, and I have a pattern here because I told you before we recorded, I have a few honorable mentions. And I think every single one of my honorable mention. Oh, I only have 3 honorable mentions. Sorry. For some reason, I thought I had 4. I was reading that wrong. 2 out of the 3 of my honorable mentions are both coming of age movies. I just have a thing for coming of age movies. I don't know why.
Me too, man. Like, yeah.
And I have a couple of those on my actual list too. So I'm like, there's a pattern here. But I don't know. I love all kinds of movies. I mean, horror is obviously like my main source, but I love that when people are always like, but that's not a horror movie. And I'm just like, I don't just watch horror movies, guys. I watch other things.
Yeah, I was known as a horror kid as well. Like definitely through the second half of high school, I actually was terrified of horror films for the longest time. It took me a long time. Like all my buddies were getting into horror films except for me. When I finally made the jump, they were bored of them. They're like, oh, we're not really interested anymore. So like for them, it was more it was that coming of age thing where you're like, oh, as a teenager, a rite of passage is you must watch scary movies at like sleepovers with your friends and stuff like that. But that's about as into them as they got. Whereas once I got the bug, I was like, oh no, I'm into this. And so I became known as kind of a horror guy for a while. But I'm the same. Like Midsommar is in my top 5 films of all time. And there's always been at least one horror film in my top 5 because, as you know, as a film fan, your top 5 isn't the same forever. It does change pretty regularly. But I think it's the only one. Like there's always other stuff in my top 5. But like if you have, I guess, if you kind of have like a notoriety as the horror guy, then people are a bit more like a kind of like, oh, well, like you watch movies that I won't watch. So tell me about horror films. Tell me how to get into it, that sort of thing. So it becomes a sort of currency at like, I was going to say parties, but I don't go to parties. What am I talking about? But it becomes a currency in like conversation if people are talking about movies. But I find that once I start talking about movies, people get actually scared because like, oh, he takes this really seriously. I can't.
Yeah.
Like that. Unless they're on the podcast and they're like, oh, like please just go for it.
He's like, oh shit, he knows his shit. Crap. Yeah.
Yeah, I had I still have a reputation at work, but I remember like it must have been late last year. One of the managers where I work, she doesn't work there anymore, but we were both managers together, and she called me into a meeting. And I was like, oh, hey, like, what's up? Like, good time. I've just finished one of these meetings. And she's like, no, it's not work related. We're just talking about this movie. We can't remember what it's called. And I was like, okay. Like,
you're like, let me help you. You're like, who's in it and what is it about?
I can't remember what the film was now, but like, I got it in the first guess. And she's like, I knew you'd know it. I'm like, well, thank you. Like, that's just
that's so funny that you say that because that's how my friends are too. They're like, what's that movie that has E.T.'s mom in it? The Howling horror section. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That was a line from Scream, but that just kind of popped in my head. I'm sorry.
You know what was great was like you sold it so well, like, I'd forgotten it was a line in Scream. I'm like, oh, too good. Alrighty, let's jump in.
Yeah, no. But no, people come up to me and be like, so what's that movie, you know? It has what's her face in it? And I'm like, oh yeah, that one. And they're like, yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's all I needed. Yeah.
I'd say it's the curse of being a film fan, but it is the best part of being a film fan is you get to recommend answer those questions. I'm like, please ask me about movies.
And it's nice to feel smart about something because I'm not smart when it comes to, you know, I can't fucking put a computer together. I don't know how to fucking fix a car. I don't know how to do shit like that. So like when I feel like I know my shit as far as like movies and stuff go, I'm like, okay, I feel smart somewhere at least. I feel important at least in this aspect. Don't expect me to fix your car, but I will tell you, you know, what movies are best to recommend and what actors are in which movie, and you know, the list goes on and on. But yeah.
I mean, I'm not even kidding. When I do get compliments on the show, my first response is normally like, well, thanks, because that's all I'm good at. So, that's all I know is talking about movies. So thank you for saying it's good, because hopefully it'll mean I can do something with it, because I'm not good at anything else.
Yeah. I don't have any other outside talents except for knowing movies off the top of my head.
Oh, I can eat snacks. Sorry, I forgot. I'm also an accomplished snack eater. So like, and they pair.
I'm a movie theater food connoisseur, is what I am. Yeah,
they pair well. You know, I can recommend a good snack to go with a movie. If you're watching, you know, something like a Terrifier 2, probably no food is good for that movie.
Exactly. Oh man. Are you ready for me to get in my honorable mentions, James?
We can jump into honorable mentions first, of course.
Is that okay?
Yeah, there are no rules, my man. So hit me with your honorable mentions, and then we'll jump into your list.
Okay. So my first one is, oh my god, I love this movie so much. I'm actually kind of sad it didn't make my list, but there's just a couple of movies on my list that I just could not bear to not put on my list over this one. So I'm gonna go with Booksmart. Have you seen this movie?
Oh, I like to refer to it as Girl Superbad, but yeah, it's a great movie. Like, it's so good.
This movie, oh my goodness, like this movie makes me laugh so hard. I just think it's such a brilliantly directed movie. Like, good job on Olivia Wilde for making this movie so freaking amazing and special. Like, I just love this movie so much. This is another coming of age type of movie, I guess you could say. But it's just so funny. It's so witty. Like, I feel like it doesn't try too hard. Like, I feel like with certain movies that try to do this kind of thing, sometimes they try too hard. They try too hard to be cool. And this movie just feels cool without trying to be cool, if that makes sense. Because it's very Gen Z oriented with like the way that some of the characters in this movie speak, or how like some of the you know, the stuff is portrayed. But it also is just relatable to everybody. Like, it doesn't matter like what age range you watch. I watched this movie with my dad, and my dad was fucking like rolling on the floor laughing. Like, he thought some of the parts of this movie were so funny.
That scene in the bathroom where she's like talking about how she should be valedictorian, whatever, because they're all like losers, and they're like, well, actually, like, we went to parties and we're scoring well. It was first of all, it's hilarious, but also it's such a wonderful flip on the genre, because normally that's exactly what those characters would be. They'd be burnouts, they're not succeeding, but it's like, no. In Gen Z, we can do it all. We can have fun and be successful.
Exactly. I love, I love how she's like, I got in early, and she's like, no, you didn't. She's like, I'm also I'm incredible at hand jobs, but I also got something on the SAT or whatever. Yeah, it's so fucking great. I love it.
Beanie Feldstein's obviously fantastic, but I'm trying to remember the other actress's name, who plays her best friend, who is to me the star of that film. Is it Caitlin Dever?
I'm not sure, actually.
Caitlin Dever, who plays Amy. I
fucking love Amy.
So good in that film, like heartbreaking. Like, she's funny and like awkward and charming, but like that, like third act, like when they start to kind of drift apart, and like she's trying to like, it's like legitimately heartbreaking. Like, makes me cry like all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the whole part where she sees her crush kissing the one guy in the pool, like, it's just so, like, her reaction to it is so realistic. But I also I like her better with the other girl anyway, the one that she ends up having the moment with in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I love that girl too. I actually love every single person in this movie. Like, not all of them have like super huge parts, but like, she's just so funny. Like, when she's like, "Did you just score your teacher's number?" And she's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Nice." She's like such a bitch, but I love it. And I also love the other girl that's also a bitch when she's like, "Hey, put a quarter in the swear jar." She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. These shorts, they don't have pockets." It's just like, this movie is so, I love it. I don't want to spend 5 hours talking about Booksmart, but I could if I really wanted to. So maybe you and I should do an episode on Booksmart if you haven't done that already. I don't think you have, but
no, we haven't done Booksmart. This is the first time Booksmart's come up on the show.
I call dibs.
It excites me because this one's not on your top 5. It's a great film, and it's something we haven't talked about before. I don't mind I've talked about Jurassic Park about 7 times, I think, on the show. Happy to talk about Jurassic Park whenever it comes up, but I love New as well. It's such a great film. Like, it's so fun. Like, there's the weird like party they go to. Like, it's got like almost like an Eyes Wide Shut vibe about it. Jason Sudeikis as the Uber driving teacher is genius.
Oh my god, the way his car is decorated, it's like, oh my god. And then when they accidentally play the porn in his car, he's like, well, I have and it's like, and they're like, so funny. Like, yeah, like I mentioned before, I watched this movie with my dad, and I was not expecting him to laugh that much because I was like, it is a coming of age film, so it's like way out of his age range. Like, but just the fact that like my dad thought it was funny, I was like, yeah, this movie is definitely genius. Like,
I think like the mark of a good coming of age film is it doesn't matter how old you are. Like if they tell the story right. Like one of my favorite coming of age films is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Now that film came up before I was born, but like what a great teen. Like to me, like it's top tier quintessential like teen film. Like you don't get to anything we got in the 2000s without that movie. That and Last American Virgin, which less people have seen, but also really good. But yeah, like those films still hold up for the most part. There's some dicey stuff in there, but like they still hold up. And Booksmart, like you could put in that same pantheon. It's just wonderful. I watched Booksmart during the pandemic. I think it was. I was a little bit late to it during the pandemic, and I watched it back to back with Blockers, which was a film I didn't expect to enjoy. And I adored. I was like, those are two. I was like, oh my goodness, these are two coming of age films that are making me cry, but also they're so funny. Like, yeah.
It's I love it. It's fucking great.
I've got it on Blu-ray. It's up there at the moment. It's on my shelf. So yeah, where's it gone? There it is. Thought I lost the movie for a second. Yeah, Booksmart's great. And I know it's cheap to call it Girl Superbad, but it really is kind of Girl Superbad. Like,
oh, it definitely is.
Even down to the fact that it's Jonah Hill's sister playing the lead. Like,
right? That's it just happens to be very parallel, I think.
But
honestly,
no.
I have to say, I think this movie's better than Superbad.
Definitely holds up better.
It's controversial. I know a lot of people are probably yelling at me right now, like, "Are you kidding me? Superbad is the best one." And
Superbad is great, but it's long. Like it is and that's very Judd Apatow. He's like, "Hey, I can make a 2.5-hour comedy." I'm like, "You can, but do we need to?"
But do you need to? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, Booksmart's brilliant. Oh, what a way to kick off. Like, you haven't even kicked off your list yet. This is just honorable mention. That's a good start.
Thank you. Yeah. I was so torn. I really wanted to put Booksmart on my top 5, but I was like, it's in my top 10. It's not in my top 5 because there's just movies that I couldn't bear to put lower. I was like, I can't. So yeah.
Oh, it's a very unfair question. Like this show is very unfair. I'm telling you, pick 5. And if you're a movie fan, you're like, that's not even realistic, let alone fair.
Yeah, no, this was very hard. I was like, holy shit.
Well, you could do what I did on your show and just spend an hour on a question that isn't even part of the actual show and just list 30 movies.
That's true. I could, yeah. But going on to my next one, and I'll make this I'll make it quicker because I haven't even gotten in my top 5 list.
I can't guarantee that. I may keep talking. So
okay, so the next one that I'm going to bring up for my honorable mentions list is going to be The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh, I love that film.
This movie, I don't know, like this movie makes me feel like it literally embodies it literally quite literally makes me want to go pull an Emma Watson and fucking go stand on the back of a freaking car in a tunnel. And that's what this movie makes me feel like. And I know that's what the movie's supposed to make you feel like, but like to really make me invoke that feeling of wanting to just like go out and like do something, or it just makes me, and then it also is devastating and it makes me freaking sob like a little baby every time I watch it.
Oh,
this
absolutely.
movie is just so like, just talking about it like makes me so passionate. Like this movie is so good. Not once again another coming of age movie, so we're seeing a pattern here, but the storytelling of this movie and like the whole twist at the end where you find out like his aunt's true intentions. It's just so disgusting and devastating and like, because you think that his aunt like died in a car accident or something, which she did, but like you think that she's like this like really great person, and then you find out she's not a good person at all.
No,
it's terrible.
It's so funny, like, well, not funny, but like the way you talk about it. When I came out of the cinema, I saw it in theaters when it came out. I was like, man, I just want to create something. Like it's just so like, and it's not even about that, but it's just so masterfully told. It's just such a like great picture of adolescence. It's like, oh, I want to contribute to the tapestry. Like, I'm getting really snobby now. I want to contribute to the tapestry of storytelling. Like, it's so masterfully told. Like, we've all been in the situations in there. Like Ezra Miller, like regardless of what's going on in their life right now, Ezra Miller has always been fantastic as a performer. Like we need to talk about Kevin, obviously brilliant.
Yeah.
But really good in this one. That whole scene in the lunchroom where they get into the fight, like, is so emotionally driven. But the thing that I remember most from that film, and I don't know whether like you agree with it or whether other people in the film agree with it, but the standout moment for me, and it's something that I related to definitely as a teenager, before I was really in any serious relationship, is when they're like, okay, now kiss the prettiest girl in the room. And he goes and kisses the girl who's not his girlfriend. Now, I've never felt that with my wife, thankfully. Like, she's always the prettiest girl in the room for me. But I'd been, like, I'd dated people in high school, or I'd kind of like been in that kind of limbo where I'm trying to figure out my identity and figure out, you know, what do I want in a partner and stuff. I'm like, well, I like talking to this person, but if I had to kiss the prettiest girl in the room, that's not them, which is a weird thing to admit. And it's like a bit of a hurdle to come over, but it's such a awkward, cringy moment in the film. But like, that is teenager to like a T. Like, we've all been, we've all wanted to kiss the prettiest girl in the room, even if they're not the girl we're with. And I'm using girl loosely as a term, like as a, we've all been with the prettiest boy in the, they don't like, if if you get what I'm saying, like that to me is like, that is such a human moment, I guess. It's, and that's a bit that always stands out for me in the, from that movie, even though there's plenty of wonderful things in it, plenty of crazy things and nasty things, but that one, that's stuck with me the most.
Oh, oh my gosh. It's like almost like a near perfect movie for me personally. I love it so much. Another movie that I was like kind of torn about not putting on my actual list, because I was like, I really grappled with it was harder for me to make a non-horror list than it was to make a horror list, because I've got my top 5 horror down pretty solid. But this one was like, I kept interchanging certain things. Like even now as we're talking, I've actually switched certain things off my list and put different ones on that I'm thinking of now. And I'm like, thank God. But like, yeah, it's just like, oh, it was so difficult. But yeah, that's my other one, Perks of Being a Wallflower. And then the oh, actually, I added one more to my honorable mention, so I have 2 more. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'll run through them real quick.
That's what we do here. We talk about movies. It's so good.
But another one that oh my gosh, I absolutely love. And a lot of people, like, I've heard a lot of people give this movie crap because it's so long. And I've heard a lot of people call it the Curious Case of Benjamin Snooze Button or something like that, because people just think this movie is so boring, some people. And I'm just like, you are missing the point of this movie. Yes, this movie is long. Yes, this movie takes its time, but I love the Curious Case of Benjamin Button so fucking much. This movie makes me so emotional. Like, this is a movie that I cry without a doubt every time I watch it. Like that whole ending scene where it's going through the montage of all the people that we've seen throughout his life oh my gosh, I'm getting chills just talking about it. This movie is so beautiful. It's such a masterpiece. Personally, I think it is oh my gosh, what is his name? He's the one that made Gone Girl, directed Gone Girl.
Oh, but I cannot.
Thank you. I think it's his best movie.
Wow, hands down. That is a. I think
Gone Girl is great, but like,
like a guy with career best films, every film just about, like Fight Club, Seven, Panic Room, which no one ever talks about, but it's brilliant.
Yes.
Gone Girl, like even his Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is really good. Like,
no.
And I mean, Alien 3 people don't talk about so much, but there's stuff to like in Alien 3, even though he's disowned it. But yeah, like that's a big claim. The Game I didn't even talk about. The Game's another brilliant film. Yeah,
like, people are probably screaming through the, "Are you kidding me, man?"
I've seen it once a long, long time ago, and I don't remember too much of it aside from the little old man makeup, or like that's about as much as I remember of it. But I remember enjoying it, and I think you talked about this on one of your episodes. You're talking about this movie. It might have been with the Horror Dads. I can't remember. I remember I was listening, and you mentioned I was hanging up the washing outside. I remember the moment I was talking about it. And I agree. I don't understand the hate. Like, is it like, I haven't watched in a while, so I don't know like how it holds up today. But surely there are worse films to pick on than Benjamin Button. Like,
I agree. Yeah. Oh my God. The story, we were talking about how like the storytelling of Perks of Being a Wallflower is like so masterful. The storytelling of this is so masterful. Like the fact that they go seamlessly between like the events that are happening at that moment. Like they're in the middle of a hurricane and she's telling her daughter the entire story, but the way it's like weaved in with like the past and the present, it's just, It's so good. Like I can talk, and I actually have like very sense memory with this movie as well, because when I was in high school, I was not out as gay yet. So, but like I was also like confused with my sexuality, because I was like, I'm attracted to women. Like I know a beautiful woman when I see them. I've actually even been in love with a woman for like 7 years. There was this girl that I grew up in high school that I was just like, oh my gosh, like she was my Mary Jane Watson. Like she had red hair. I appreciate
that reference. Yeah.
Thank you. She had red hair. Like she's gorgeous. Like she's married now, but like, and we're still great friends. But oh my gosh, from like 5th grade till probably 11th grade, I was like absolutely in love with her. I actually even dated her for like a month in high school, and I just was like, this is the peak. But besides the point, like I did go through a phase where I thought I could be bisexual, and then I realized I cannot be sexual with a woman. Like I can be attracted to a woman, I can maybe even love a woman, but it would never happen sexually. No thanks, not for me. But I remember.
I'm sorry, that was so that was so well told and poignant, and then like the punchline was, "No thanks." Like it just,
yeah,
gross.
Yeah. No thanks. No, they're kind of scary. I'm sorry, but yeah, I don't know. Like the point of me bringing that up is I was actually dating a girl at the time that this movie came out, and I went and saw this with her in the theater. Like this was, I think, our first or second date. And I just remember that for some reason. Like I don't remember what happened after the date. I don't remember what happened before the date. All I remember is us going and seeing this movie. And I don't know, this movie really made an impact on me. Like I just love this movie. So yeah, that's my other one.
That's I think you're 3 for 3. I don't think we've had any of these movies come up on the show before. So
oh, cool. So well, I'll come up on talk on every single one of these movies if you really want to. That'll be a 6-hour episode in itself. You get me talking about either one of these movies. But yeah, so the last one on my list, and it killed me not to put, it was actually one of the movies that I brought up that I had on my list and then took off my list, but it's like right below the number 5 slot. So this is going to be Mean Girls.
Oh, that's a good film. I love Mean Girls, and I think anyone who says they don't love Mean Girls hasn't seen Mean Girls or doesn't get it. Like, yeah, it's a perfect film, I would say. Like, it's pretty perfect. Like, yeah. So without giving too much away, Mean Girls is coming up on an episode soon. Like we talk about Mean Girls in an upcoming show. But that's all I'll say. But
can I squeeze myself into that episode? Can I like invite myself?
It's already been recorded. So
God damn it, son of a! I'm just kidding.
I remember when Mean Girls came out. It was 2004, so I would have been 16, maybe 15. Mine just turned 16, and I was like, Lindsay Lohan, Mean Girls. This sounds awful. So it took me like over a year to watch it. Once it came out on DVD, I was working the video
Hold
store
on.
at the time.
What do you got against Lindsay Lohan?
Oh no, I was a teenage boy who didn't like no. Oh no,
I thought you were just saying like, oh, Lindsay Lohan's in this. Oh, terrible. Oh, that's what.
It was more. I was just a teenage boy and I didn't really care about girl movies. But then when I got on DVD, I was working the video store. I brought it home. I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Like this is genius. Like this is, and I'd seen Lindsay Lohan in like Herbie Fully Loaded and stuff like that. I'd seen her do some things at that point, so I liked her as an actress. But I hadn't seen, and yeah, sorry, this is your film, and all I've done is talk about it. So
you're fine. Well,
it's because it's a great movie.
It is. It's so good, and like it's so funny. I mean, it aged very, very well. I mean, except for the Janice Ian Dyke thing, which is still kind of funny. But I mean, that's a little. I mean, that's kind of borderline offensive, but the things that we could get away with in the early 2000s, like making fun of gay people or black people, or, like just the things that like you look back on, and you're like, ooh, that didn't age quite well. There's a couple of things in this movie that don't age quite well, like as far as like the whole gay bashing thing. And I mean, it's not a huge thing. It's not a big deal. So that's why I give this movie a pass. But there are certain things that I'm like, oof, that did not, but this is one of those movies that I just like know like the back of my hand. It's like this is a movie that I try to quote in my daily life. Like honestly, like I'll see something will pop into my head and I'll just incorporate it into the conversation. Like,
yeah, she doesn't even go here. Like,
doesn't even go here.
Your mom's chest hair. No, I'm not a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
My favorite line, and this is going to be a long one, so hold on to your seats. And I'm not reading off of anything. I know this line this by heart. I might miss a few words because I'm not.
We're going to be testing you, and we'll be providing a mark at the end of it all.
Oh, now I'm getting anxiety because I just put my own self on the spot. So now I got to be like, ooh, I got to perform. But I love the whole part where she's like, let me tell you something about Janice Ian. We were best friends in middle school. I know, it's so embarrassing. I don't even, whatever. So then 8th grade, I started going out with my first boyfriend, Kyle, who was totally gorgeous, but then he moved to Indiana. And Janice was like weirdly jealous of him. Like if I would blow her off to go hang out with Kyle, she'd be like, why didn't you call me back? And I'd be like, why are you so obsessed with me? So then for my birthday party, I was an all girls pool party. And I was like, Janice, I can't invite you because I think you're a lesbian. Like there were going to be girls in their bathing suits. I mean, right? She was a lesbian. So then her mom called my mom and started yelling at her. It was so retarded. And then she dropped out of school because no one would talk to her. And then when she came back to school in the fall, all of her hair was cut off and she was totally weird. And now I guess she's on crack.
I think that might have been Pitch Perfect. Like that was pretty much, I think, word for word it. It's so much fun. And
I think I did miss one part. It was the part where she's like which was all girls pool party, which was like, I can't invite you, Janice, because I think you're a lesbian. Like I couldn't have a lesbian at my party. There were going to be girls in their bathing suits. I mean, right? She was a lesbian. So that's what I said. I missed that part. But yeah, I almost got it right.
That is pretty good. And that might be the first dramatic reading we've had on the show. So
I bring something new, I guess,
it's so quotable. Even it may be one of the most quotable films. Like even down to like oh my god, she's so annoying. I know, get rid of her. Who is this?
Who's
Gretchen.
This?
Hold on.
Oh my god, she's so annoying. Yeah.
I honestly haven't watched Mean Girls in probably 10 years, and that's not because I don't want to watch it. It's just I just haven't got I'm like every time I think about watching a movie, I don't think about Mean Girls, but I just know it. Like I know it so well. Like
you definitely, once your daughter gets old enough, you definitely need to show her that one.
Oh well, my wife loves Mean Girls as well, so it'll be a no-brainer. Like
yeah.
It was something we bonded over when we first started dating. Like weirdly, I was like we were talking about like movies. Like I'm like, you probably seen this, but I don't know, because she was very like, my wife was very like an emo girl when we first started dating. She had like the big red fringe and dark hair. So Mean Girls, it wasn't exactly like what I thought was her criteria. But when we first started dating, I'm like, you may not have seen this because it might not be your thing, but have you watched this movie Mean Girls? It's really funny. And she's like, oh my god, yes, let's watch it right now. And like it became like a foundational part of our relationship at a certain point.
Yeah.
And everyone's great in it. Like everyone's great. There's not a bad performance. Like
no.
They like Rachel McAdams, who I don't think she's as old as Amy Poehler, but like there's not that much of an age difference. Like pulls off being a teenage girl, like 100%. Is it Lacey Chabert who plays Gretchen?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and then Amanda Seyfried that plays Karen. Yeah,
who is to me the standout in that film? Like Amanda Seyfried, like. You got so many big personalities in there, but she's just like every line she delivers is comedy gold. I'm a mouse, duh. Like, just
you want to do something fun? You want to go to Taco Bell? I can't go to Taco Bell. I'm on an all-carb diet. God, Karen, you are so stupid. Nobody understands me. I understand you, Regina. And she's like, I have a fifth sense. My breasts can always tell when it's going to rain. Well, they can tell when it's raining.
Is that when it's like ESPN or something?
Yeah, yeah.
We haven't even talked about Tina Fey, who's obviously brilliant in it.
Oh my god, yeah.
Tim Meadows as like, is he the principal?
Yeah,
like he's so good. Janet, I can't remember who plays Janice. Lizzie Kaplan.
Yes,
who looks nothing like that in real life. The first time I saw Lizzie Kaplan, I was like, oh my god, like they like
she's gorgeous, yeah,
beautiful. Like hair and makeup really is a thing. Like that was my first time kind of like, oh wow. And I can't remember who. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was just gonna say it blew my mind when I saw her in Cloverfield. I was like, oh my god, that's Janice Ian, because she plays like I was like, oh my gosh. But sorry, continue what you were gonna say.
And I was gonna say, is it Danny? Is that I can't remember all the characters' names. Is that the gay friend?
That's Damien.
Damien, that's right. Sorry, yeah.
But I can't think of what his name is in real life off the top of my head right now. But it's so weird to see him in I Spit on Your Grave.
I was about to say, the weirdest thing for me was to see him in I Spit on Your Grave. I was like, it's the same guy. What's going on?
Like he plays a heterosexual male really good in that movie.
And gets a really brutal end. Like the fish
his death is my favorite.
And the crow. I've seen that film once. That was enough for me.
I can only watch the revenge parts.
Yeah.
Of those movies, because I've seen the movies once like fully through, So now anytime I watch them, I don't need to watch the other parts because
one's brutal. It's really.
Oh, you should watch the second one. It's worse.
I've seen the first one and I've seen the original and I've seen the third one. I skipped the second one because there's a lot of use of tasers in the trailer, and I was like, I don't know if I need to see this. This seems a bit much.
The second one's the first half of the movie is horrible.
Yeah,
probably the worst. One of the worst I've ever seen. It was it was not an enjoyable experience.
I mean,
I'll tell you that.
None of them are, to be fair.
No,
We talked about a movie on your podcast, The Sadness, which I still haven't seen. And
PTSD flashbacks, clammy palms.
I was talking to, I was like, I'm just at an age now where there's certain films I'll never watch, and I'm okay with that. There's a girl I talk with on Instagram from time to time. She's a big horror fan, and she'll always pop things out like requests what's a good horror film to watch, and she watched The Sadness. I'm like, oh, I've heard this one is really tough, and she's like, oh no, she's like, it's great, you'll love it. And I'm like, I don't think you understand. I'm a 35-year-old man with a daughter. I don't enjoy anything anymore. Once people start getting harmed, I get really worried.
Yeah.
But none of them are enjoy. They I never needed to watch a Serbian film. I'll never watch a Serbian film. The time for that has come and gone. I'll never, I'll probably never watch another Tom Six film. I've seen those Human Centipede films. I know he's doing a fourth one. Probably not going to.
I refuse to talk about those on my podcast. I always tell people, I will not talk about those movies. Those movies will not be talked about on this podcast. I'm open to all other movies, but not those ones.
Yeah.
I don't, because to have to sit through those movies and take notes and have to watch those, I won't do it again. Those are movies I'm never going to watch ever again. They are just despicable. They're disgusting.
I don't know if I'll watch Cannibal Holocaust again. It's a film that is pretty full on, but when I was in my 20s, I'm like, yeah, I'll check out Cannibal Holocaust. I own it, but I'm like, I don't know if I need to see that movie again. That's
you go through a phase in your life where you're like, I want to be really hardcore and I want to watch as many disturbing, disgusting movies as I can, and then you just get older and you're like, yeah, those movies aren't appealing to me anymore. I'm not into granted, I still love gory,
yes, of course,
horror films where people are getting ripped limb from limb, but there's I brought it up with The Sadness. There's just a difference with that movie where it just feels more realistic and just more tangible, as opposed to Evil Dead, where it's just this would never happen, but the gore is fun to watch. The gore in The Sadness was not fun to watch for me. Anyway,
it all comes down to tone. I remember, and we talked about it a little bit on your show, Terrifier 2 was a film that I wasn't excited about because I didn't love the first one. I was I'm from a practical effects point of view, it's really interesting, but I just didn't really dig the story. I was like, it's kind of, it's fine. So Terrifier 2, I wasn't super psyched about, and then it just kind of started getting rave reviews. People were like, no, this story now. We talked about this in your show, so I won't go into too much detail. So I was all on board to watch it, and then someone who I trust quite a bit watched it, and she was like, there's a scene that was so upsetting to me in that movie. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think I've seen it. I was like, oh, I thought this movie was meant to be fun. So I put it off for the longest time because the bedroom scene, the notorious bedroom scene. If anyone's seen Terrifier 2, it's pretty full on. But no one. But she had failed to mention to me but it looks like rubber. If she had told me that, I would have been cool with it. But I put it off for the longest time. And then when I finally saw the movie, the film is silly.
Yeah,
it's silly. It's a silly film. And I've gone back and rewatched the first Terrifier since, and I enjoy it more. I appreciate it more. It's not it's not my top 5 or anything, but I can go in. I can appreciate more of what went behind it because I've seen the storyline grow and that sort of thing. But those films I can watch because they're just they're just silly and gory. But The Sadness sounds like just a really sad time at the movies, to be honest.
It's really heavy. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it if stuff like that gets to you, because honestly, you and I was actually messaging you while I watched that movie, and I was just I don't know if I can finish it. And you're like, you don't have to finish it. And I was like, but I do.
But the podcast. And I'm screw the podcast. Be happy.
The things I do for my podcast, sometimes I put my mental health at risk, but it happens.
It just made me think of another film that you're not a huge fan of, Tusk, where Justin Long is just he'll do anything for the sake of the podcast. He's I gotta do it. It's for the podcast. I was but you don't. You don't have to. You can just tell a different story. And now you're a Wars, and I think I told you they're making a sequel to Tusk.
Lovely.
So, but it's meant to, from what I understand, it's meant to be years later and them trying to like snap him out of it, which I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Like that's kind of like an interesting take on it, like a post-traumatic like recovery thing, like instead of just sewing someone to a walrus suit again. But I know you're not going to be lining up in theaters, but I will buy my ticket the day it drops.
Yeah, have to let me know how it is. But
it's like it's Human Centipede but cuddly. So and no poop. No poop, which makes it easy to watch.
But yeah, that was my last honorable mention was Mean Girls. So how we went from Mean Girls to Human Centipede, I don't know. That took an entire fucking like.
It's because we got to. I spit on your grave.
I know.
I'm also in a disturbing movies mindset right now because tomorrow the show I'm recording, if it goes ahead, fingers crossed it will, we're talking about messed up movies, and like my friend, she was like, I think I'm going to watch Human Centipede. I was like, oh, I'm going to bring stuff that people want to watch. So it's disturbing and messed up, but still enjoyable for the most part. But because originally I was like, oh, I could just do all the Centipede films, all the Spit on Your Grave, Salo, done. Like, okay, like really disturbing and no one wants to watch things. But I was like, I have to remember this is an entertainment show and I don't want to talk about graphic depictions of horrible things for too long because people will turn the show off and be like, why would I watch that? That's sad. So
yeah. But are we ready to get in my top 5?
Not quite. We're going to take another hour and then let's you're a talker. I love it. You're a talker.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, like it's like we have to share the blame here because I've been going on tangents, which I was hoping would happen. So I'm psyched. This is great.
That's
we are almost. I think we're about an hour and a half in. So I don't know if that's the record. I think actually we're about on par with Samantha at the moment. I think it took about an hour and a half to get to her list as well. So that's a great episode. So we're just trailblazing. It's all good.
And these are just my honorable mentions. So
I know.
Here we go.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about movies at this point on her show. So you're doing a lot better. You've talked about a few movies. Let's jump into your top 5. I'm very excited.
Okay, so starting at number 5. Oh my gosh, what can I say about this film? I love it so much. I have 2 Kirsten Dunst films on this list, and I don't know if that spoils anything for anybody. Maybe she's been in a lot of movies, so maybe not. But the first one, my number 5, is going to be Drop Dead Gorgeous. Have you heard or seen of this movie?
I've heard of it, but I have not seen Drop Dead Gorgeous. It's also the first mention of the film on the show, so you are 4 for 4. Oh no, we talked about Mean Girls. Actually, no, technically you're before the Mean Girls chat, so you've mentioned Mean Girls first. So yeah. Yes. This is a beauty pageant one, is that right?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like a mockumentary type of thing, so it's very like told in the sense of like you have talking head interviews, you have like just random B-roll footage, you have but there's like such a good funny story. I think the only reason why it's like so low on my list is because there's just certain things that haven't aged well.
Sure.
Like we were talking about things that were offensive. This movie, if this movie was made in this day and age, there's no way this movie would get released. People would be boycotting it because there's the use of the R word a lot in this movie, amongst many other.
The one that you quoted from Mean Girls before, that one, or the other R word?
Oh no, I didn't even realize I said the R word. I'm so sorry. I don't want to offend anybody. I was just quoting word from word.
Oh no, that's okay. No, like that's okay. Like I'm not having a go at you. Like, and I think people can tell the difference between like someone using that word and someone quoting something. Yeah. No, because we also talked about another movie with a much stronger R word, which I find more offensive. So like,
yeah,
they're both pretty bad, but like, yeah.
This movie kind of uses a mentally handicapped person as the butt of a joke in certain scenes, and it's just tough, not okay. Yeah, it's not okay. And there's like a couple of other things that aren't okay. There's like cultural appropriation, like there's like an Asian family in this movie, and they're like so stereotypical Asian. It's just like very kind of racist. But also to that point, I will say, I don't think the movie itself is offensive, if that makes any sense. I think what they were trying to do is this movie takes place in Minnesota. So, and you also have to think this was the 90s. This was 99 when this movie came out. So it's like people in like the Midwest and even like those kind of states that are like corn fed, they have very different ideals than, say you and I.
I'm somewhat familiar with America. Like I only hear
but like they're still very homophobic, racist people out there, and I think that's what they were trying to go with this movie. So it almost like in a sense like isn't offensive in the sense that like they're doing it to be malicious. I think they're just doing it to show like what kind of place this is, I guess, if that makes sense. And I'm not trying to defend the fact that they use the R word multiple times. I'm not trying to defend that because it's still offensive, but it's like it's the reason why it's still on my list is because it's like if it was just offensive for the sake of being offensive, like that would be a different thing, which I guess in some aspects it is, because there's no reason to use the R word as often as they use. I actually think I need to watch this movie again and write down how many times because they say it a lot. And it's
I think objectively as a film watcher though, like as an audience member, you have to, I think you're right. Like, so I experienced something similar, but the opposite effect, where they were kind of, I think, going for too much censorship with the recent It films, particularly It Part 1. Now, I loved those films. I think Andy Muschietti did a great job. I think that then they're I think they're a lot more faithful to the book than the original miniseries. There's some really great stuff in there. But one thing that really stuck out of place for me, and this might come as controversial, was the treatment of, and I should look it up. Give me a second. There's a character in particular. I'm trying to remember his name, but I'll look it up so I'm well informed. Give me a second.
Okay.
It is Mike Hanlon. So he's the African American boy.
Oh yeah.
So in the book, he is treated, I would say, despicably. Like there's a lot of it's very much one of those towns. It's very racist, very homophobic. Like it's very much one of those small towns. And in the book, it's brutal. Like I don't know how Stephen King got away with writing the words he used in it, but like in the movie, like the most offensive thing they say to him is like, "Get out of our town," which I'm like, okay, like I understand that you want to censor it, you don't want to use that word, that's fine, but it almost diminishes the suffering that people who have experienced racism have gone through by not using it, if that makes sense. Like, sometimes you have to use it for the impact. Like, I'm not saying by putting in the movie you're instantly a racist person or I want to hear racial slurs, but at the same time, like if you're trying to paint a picture of what that time was like, by censoring it almost diminishes the impact, if that makes sense. And that's just me being objective. Like, obviously, all those words are despicable. Like, whilst I believe that there are no bad words, slurs definitely are the outlier there because they were created to cause pain. But I think when you are kind of creating art and you are trying to tell a story about a certain time, to avoid those is almost kind of sweeping under the rug at the same time. So I don't know. Like, I'm not defending the movie either, but I guess I'm trying to like put it in context, being like, look, if that's what it was like, I would probably prefer a more honest depiction so I can feel what it was like and then I can react the appropriate way, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm sure some people are like, no, just don't say the word. And if that's the way you feel, fine. Like, that's okay. Yeah. I do agree we don't need to say the word. But I think from an artistic point of view, from telling someone's story as truthfully as possible, it hurts it to kind of brush over some of the finer details.
I think there's a way to do it and a way to not do it. And this movie kind of...
doesn't do it
to not do it. Yeah,
but I went out on a limb to really defend it and like give you a way, and you're like, yeah, I agree, but no.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I was even defending it because it's like it does paint small town mentality. Like that's kind of the defense that I put behind it when people say, "Oh, this movie's offensive," and I'm like, it is, but it's like I don't know. Anyway, I love this movie. I think it's hilarious. I think Brittany Murphy is freaking good in this movie. Kirsten Dunst is great in this movie. Kirstie Alley is great in this movie. She's problematic, but she's great. Rest in peace. She recently passed away.
Yeah, she passed away recently. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what's the other girl? She's in Wild Things. I freaking love her so much.
Denise Richards.
Denise Richards is in this movie.
We were talking about Wild Things like not long ago. I was watching it and like I was sending you. I was like, the Blu-ray like this is getting really nerdy again. The Blu-ray transfer is so nice. You're like, oh, send me, and I'm like sending you clips.
Yeah, we're like nostalgia. Yeah. Frickin' Amy Adams is in this movie. I think it's Amy Adams' first role or something like that. Like, there's just so many funny lines in this movie. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorites. You really need to watch it. It's one of those movies that like I don't tell, like if I'm gonna watch this movie with somebody, I don't tell them anything about it. I just put the movie on and they're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
Like I watched this movie with one of my friends a couple years ago and he like after the movie was over, I was like, so what'd you think? And he was like, that was something. Yeah, he liked it, but he was like, I don't know how to. It was something. Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing worse than like being amped about a film, thinking you've picked out like you've curated it for someone. This is going to be your thing, and then their reaction is not complete excitement. You're like, oh,
Oh no, he did love it, but he was just like, I'm not sure how to feel. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know. I
okay.
was
Sure.
like, I get it. It's a really weird movie. Like, um, but it's so funny. Like, there's just so many in it. Like, it made me fall in love with Minnesota accents, like the way they talk. Like they're like, oh, I'm from Minnesota, so
I mean, that's a solid Minnesota accent. That's really good.
thank you. Yeah, I've had practice, but like freaking Kirsten Dunst in this movie is so funny. Her Minnesota accent is so good. She's like, "Hi, hello, my name is Amber Atkins, and I'm competing to be in the Mount Rose American Teen Princess pageant." And then she's like, two of my favorite people in the whole world competed in pageants, my mom and Diane Sawyer. Of course, I hope I end up more like Diane Sawyer than my mom. But yeah, it's so funny, James. You need to watch this movie. Like, you have to. It's so funny.
On the list. I mean, look, I talk about this a lot. I used to get really embarrassed on the podcast when I hadn't seen a movie because I'm like, let's call it a teenage film snob. I should have seen all the movies. And I got really embarrassed about it. But now I'm like, no, this is great because I always need something to watch. So
yeah,
if it comes up on the show, as long as someone can talk about it, the worst thing is when someone comes on the show, they talk about a movie I haven't seen and they can't talk about it. I'm like, oh, well, I can't really prompt you here because I haven't seen it, but like, thankfully that doesn't really happen very often. But you've sold me on it. Like, it's one I've always been aware of, but now I've got to check it out. So
it's really funny. It's so funny.
and knowing that Brittany Murphy's in, when you said her name before, I made a little gasp. Like, I love Brittany Murphy. Like, she's someone else who we lost far, before her time. Like,
I know. I was devastated when she died. I was like, no.
Like, she's in Sin City for 5 minutes. Like, steals every scene she's in. Watch out or I'll cut your little pecker off. Like, just
you'll love her in this movie. She's so fucking funny. Like, her laugh in this movie is you have to. Oh my gosh, yes.
Like, okay, I know you're not a big comic book movie guy, but she is the Harley Quinn we deserve that we didn't get. Like, she would have
been really good for that.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, what's her face does a really good job.
Oh, Margot Robbie's great. Like,
Margot Robbie.
I've not been like, oh, we're stuck with Robbie. Like, no, she's fantastic. But like, Brittany Murphy is just like would have been pitch perfect for it.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, so just mentioning her name, I'm like, oh yeah, another Brittany Murphy film I haven't seen. Good, because she's great in everything.
She is,
and great cast. Like, everyone you mentioned is great. So
and there's like little cameos from other people too, like the woman that's in Austin Powers, the older woman, I forget what her name is. She's in this movie. She's like, I think she's like the villain's like sidekick.
Oh, what's it? Frau Farbissina? Like that one?
Yeah.
That's the character's name. I can't remember what the actor's name. Yeah, she's great.
She's in it. Freaking, you get a cameo from oh my gosh, what is his name? He's in the very beginning of the movie, but I can't think of what his name is right now. Anyway, but yeah, no, I mean, Drop Dead Gorgeous, I recommend it. There are definitely parts that have not aged well with this movie, but I think ultimately this movie is really enjoyable. It's highly underrated. Like, I don't hear people talk about this movie at all. I love it so much. But yeah, that's my number 5. So moving on to my number 4, James.
Excellent. Love it.
Another Kirsten Dunst movie, and it's Bring It On.
Oh, okay. I can talk Bring It On. Like, Bring It On is...
Oh, this is another movie that like I just grew up on, and it's kind of I have an embarrassing story to divulge with you and your listeners. I don't divulge this story too much because it's embarrassing and it's cringy for me to think about. But I was a kid at the time. I was like, this movie came out in 2000, so I was like, what, 7 or 8? I don't even think I was 8 years old yet when this movie came out. But oh my God. This movie brought the inner gay child out in me, and I literally memorized every single routine in that movie, and I would perform them for my family. I'm not joking, but
it
was obviously more silly for me because I couldn't do all the flips and stuff. So it was literally just like doing the moves and then like pretending to do a backflip. It was I think about it, I'm like getting secondhand embarrassment. But I remember I put that movie on and performed it for my like entire family, like the routine, and I was like, oh God. But this is another movie like Mean Girls that's just so quotable that I try to use in like my daily life. It's just so funny. It's so great. Like,
I saw this in theaters. I would have been 12, and it was the end of primary school. So I guess you would call it. Like, I was in 6th grade, so we do school a little bit different over in here in Australia. We do kind of prep or kindergarten to 6th grade, and then we go into high school, which is 7 to 12. So I was at the end of my primary school or my 6th grade, and we, as like a breakup, like end of school, we all went and saw Bring It On. I didn't even know what I was going to say. They just chose the movie and we went in. and so funny. Like Kirsten Dunst, that would have been my first exposure to Kirsten Dunst because this is pre Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So this is my first time seeing it and like fell in love. I'm like, oh my goodness, like who's this like beautiful woman and like.
Thank you for saying that because like I feel like everyone like they even make jokes about it on Family Guy, like hot body, weird face or something like that. They talk about like I like she does not have a weird face. She's gorgeous. Like I think Kirsten
like
Dunst is so pretty.
Every actor and actress, and not just actor and actress, like every person like has a good moment and a bad moment. Like, you know, like you can't be gorgeous 100% of the time. And you're not going to be unattractive 100% of the time either. Like you're going to have shades and moments. But like as a 12-year-old boy, I was like, she's like, yeah, like she's really pretty. And like then when she's Mary Jane, of course, I'm like, oh, perfect. Like, this is awesome. So no, I like Kirsten Dunst. One of my favorite Kirsten Dunst roles is a Bachelorette where she plays like the really nasty like friend.
Yeah.
Like that's a great flick. Like she's so good in it. But anyway, we're talking about Bring It On. Sorry, I just remembered that.
Oh no, you're good. I just this movie is like, and I really do like the third Bring It On with Hayden Panettiere, but that movie does not touch this movie. Like this movie is such a classic. All the people that are in this movie are fantastic. I love the bitchiness and the cattiness from the cheerleaders. Like when she's like, I'm sorry, this isn't a democracy, it's a cheerocracy. I'm sorry, but I'm overruling you. You're being a cheer-tainer, Torrance, and a pain in my ass. Besides, we already voted. Besides, Misty looks like an Uber dyke. This is another movie where they use the dyke word, and it's like, oh my gosh, was the early 2000s just like all about like you're a dyke lesbian, you're a blah blah blah. It was like, oh my god,
it was very in vogue, I think, at that time. Like in the early 2000s, like teen comedies are maybe the most problematic of the teen comedies.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about problematic? Scary Movie for starters. It's still hilarious, but God, that movie is
scary movie. I would say like American Pie, like is just. I talked about this on the last episode. Is basically a sex crime in a movie. Like it's so like worrying. Road Trip is another one that's really like dicey now. Like
not another teen movie, you know.
No, I mean, look, not another teen movie is definitely the most offensive, but it is really fun. Like Chris Evans' first role, like that's Captain America there.
I think that was one of my sexual awakenings when he comes out and he's like covered in the whipped cream.
The whipped cream with the banana.
I was like, oh. Wow.
It's not a fudge sundae, it's banana split.
I'm getting like, it's getting hot in here, and that's not just the heat of the summer.
Yeah. That's a fun movie, man. Like, you can't show a Gen Z kid that. Like, they will tear, like, they'll die from, you know, the anti-wokeness of it all.
Speaking of not another teen movie, though, they do make fun of Bring It On in that movie with the whole, like,
Jamie Presley plays the cheerleader. She's
like, I will ask the cheer questions. I will deal with the cheer decisions, and I will deal with the cheer consequences, or whatever she says. And then she's like, "What is it? It's just what they bring, okay?" Yes, Priscilla, but what is it? It's what they bring, okay?
Man, I love that movie. I still will like. Randomly, like in the evening, if I've got nothing to do, I'll just pull up the song montage from that movie. Like it's so prompted. It's so good. Like
it is. I love the whole part where he's like, "Jenny's got a gun," and they all chase her. They're like, "She's got a gun." So funny. But anyway, sorry. Back to
I was like, the toughest thing. I was like, what's the most offensive thing? It's probably Sam Levine playing an Asian guy. That's probably the most offensive thing.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of offensive things in it. Like there's the girls with like two heads. Like it's It's not an easy film to watch if you didn't see it growing up. But man, is it funny!
What did she say when she's like, "Give me a U, give me a Y, give me a pussy lock fuck cock shit"? Or whatever she says. She's like, "Sorry, that was my Tourette's."
Yeah. I'm Sandra Sue and it's super swell.
Peachy, I assume you brought a routine. Oh, you betcha. Oh Jesus. Oh Lord.
I don't know many people who've watched it. It was a big film at the time. It's also got an actress you've mentioned on your show before, Serena Vincent, who was in Cabin Fever.
Yeah, she plays the
Areola,
the
exchange student.
Jesus. Yeah.
like one of the funniest jokes in that movie, and again, you can't get away with it today, but the joke is because she's foreign, she's naked all the time. And like and she speaks in subtitles, and the subtitles always are framed around her breasts. So
Yeah.
like, it's just so dumb.
Ridiculous.
Which is funny because I remember you were talking about the cabin fever thing and how she was like very anti-nudity, but during those years, like she was naked just about everything she made. Like, so yeah. Anyway, we went on a tangent. Bring it on.
Well, I do want to discuss on a more serious note, like why I also love Bring It On so much.
Yeah, go for it.
Is because it kind of really is one of the first, like, I don't like to use the term woke. I think that's like, I don't know. I don't really like that term. But it was one of those. It's one of those films that really kind of, you know, painted this issue of like white privilege in a sense, like, but did it in like such a good way that it wasn't like offensive on either side. Like it showed, you know, with Torrance, for example, like she, you know, you can tell she's been, you know, raised with a silver spoon up her ass her whole life. Like her house is fancy. She goes to a really fancy school at Rancho Cucamonga. Like she's just this, you know, she's a blonde, pretty, like popular cheerleader, you know. And then you get like the East Compton Clovers, where it's like, you know, Gabrielle Union is fucking fantastic in this movie. She's
so
also
good.
Stunning, might I say. She's so freaking gorgeous in this movie. But like it also like shows like they don't come from that world. Like they work for everything that they have, you know. And I like the whole fact that they're finally standing up to what is rightfully theirs, like, because, you know, you get the whole, you know, Big Red is always coming to their, you know, school to steal their routines, you know, which I guess is a metaphor for, you know, white people, you know, taking things, you know. It's a very touchy subject to talk about, but I'm also happy that they tackle that subject in this movie. You know, it might not be like the most, you know, skin deep way of tackling it, but like I don't think they did it in an offensive way. I think they did it very tastefully, and I like the whole, you know, the battle between them, but it's not like it's not ill intent.
No,
is the best word I can think of.
I don't think it needs to go too deep, because this was a film that A, it's a comedy, and B, it was marketed, at least over here, to kind of like tweens and teens. Like, so if you can whip a little message in there and kind of make it a little bit deeper than just the surface, I think that's more than most, especially at that time, were doing. So like, just to show that kind of injustice and stuff like that. And then the ending, of course, like blew my mind. I'm like, wait, I thought they were the heroes and they didn't win. It's like, no, like, idiot, that's the point of the film. Like, they shouldn't be winning. Like, it would be a terrible ending if they won, because like they've been stealing from them for so long. It's
funny because they lose because they're not using material from somebody else that probably would have won continuously if they wouldn't have been seen. So it's kind of like that, you know, funny thing of like gaining your power back and finding your voice and standing up for what's right. And, you know, I like the fact that, like, you know, at first Torrance is completely oblivious to it, but then, you know, she realizes that, like, I am the problem. To quote Taylor Swift, I am the problem. It's me, you know? I had to get a Taylor Swift quote in there somewhere. You know me. I just have to. But, like, I like that she realizes, like, there's a real growth with Torrance throughout the movie, where she realizes that, what she's doing, like, not that it's necessarily her fault, because, you know, Big Red was the captain before her, but I really like her sense of like, okay, I'm the captain now. I'm going to take responsibility for, you know, past things that have happened, and I'm going to grow from that, and I'm going to make an impact, and I'm not going to continue on this path of what we have been doing. And I like that. So just to go a little bit deeper with this movie, aside from like all the freaking hilarious lines and the, you know, all the funny stuff, there's also a deep rooted message within this movie. And like I said, it's not the most, I guess, you know, not, I don't want to say shallow, but like they could have gone deeper with it, but it's like, it's for the fact that what you just said, like for an early 2000s movie, were really breaking new ground. I feel like this movie, the fact that this movie is so heartfelt with its message, like sets it apart from a lot of movies that were coming out around that time. So
yeah, absolutely. And like it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be, oh, you put a message in so therefore it loses an audience. But like if they had have gone too heavy, like it wouldn't probably have the cult status. I mean, it may have, but I don't think it would have achieved the cult status that it has, which is just like, it is just this fun, like campy little, cheerleader film, but also there's some real world stuff in it, which again is more than most are doing at the time. Like it's and really fun. And like again, like Mean Girls, if I had have known I was going to see Bring It On, I probably would have not wanted to go, but because I just went into the cinema not knowing what it was, I was like, okay, well, I guess watching this cheerleader film. Like it plays to many audiences. Like you don't need to be a girl like to watch Bring It On. Like, and if you approach it that way, you're missing out another great film. So excellent. We are I was gonna say we're burning through your list, but we're not. We're up to 3.
That's Bring It On. That's my number 4. Thank you.
Oh, there was a delay. Sorry. I think we're back now, though.
Are we back? Are we good?
We're back.
Can you hear me?
Okay,
good. Okay. That was my number 4. That was Bring It On. So moving into my number 3 is a movie that this movie is similar to The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Like it's very similar with its storyline, but it's the opposite of that, actually. And I don't know if I gave that away, but it's a Blake Lively movie, and it came out, I think, in 2017 or 2018, but it's called The Age of Adeline.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. I couldn't remember what it was called. I haven't seen Age of Adeline, but it's on my list. I love Blake Lively.
Oh, and I think this is, I mean, I love Blake Lively too, but I think this is her best performance in any movie I've ever seen her in, like, to date so far. Because, like, just the fact that, like, so basically the storyline for people who don't know this movie, it's about a woman who gets into a car accident and then something like crazy happens, like a phenomenon happens where it like de-ages her, so she never ages. Like she stays the same age that she's at. So it's like she's going through all these different decades and all these different styles and like the way she has to act in each she's perfection in this movie. And this movie is probably perfect. I think this movie is perfection. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this movie. I have no qualms with this movie.
I never hear anyone say anything bad about Blake Lively, but I just feel like she's underappreciated. Like I feel like I only ever hear like her being referred to as like Gossip Girl or Ryan Reynolds' wife, but like she's
Taylor Swift's best friend.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Her and Taylor Swift are besties. Actually, she directed the I Bet You Think About Me music video that came out when she released the Taylor's version of Red. Blake Lively directed that music video.
Oh, interesting.
And also, if you have you heard Gorgeous from Reputation?
No, I haven't.
So there's like an opening part where it's like you hear like a little kid say gorgeous, and that's Blake Lively's kid. So.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent.
Yeah.
She's just, I just never hear anyone talk about it outside of that context, but like, The Town is fantastic. Shallows is really good. People don't like that movie, but I think she's really good in Green Lantern. Like, I think she's really charming in it. Like, she's one of those actors, that I don't hear a lot of praise about, but everything I see her, I'm like, why isn't she in more? Like, why isn't she getting like the Scarlett Johansson career? Why isn't she getting like one of those? And I'm sure she's doing fine. I'm sure she's happy. I'm sure she's thrilled with the career she has. But I just feel like she's someone that should be on people's minds more because she's brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, she's fabulous. And in this movie, she's so good. Like she's the star of the show in this movie. This movie is just so touching to me. Like it's similar to like the Curious Case of Benjamin Button, where it's like, it has this theme of, just living your life and really enjoying those moments with the people that you have in your life and never taking for granted what you have. And there's just this movie is another movie that just without fail makes me cry every time I watch it. And and I wish you had seen this movie because I could spoil this part, but this it's like a simple scene and it's at the end of the movie, but it makes me cry, ugly cry every fucking time I watch it. I'm like,
I guarantee you, like when I put it on, which will be very soon because I'm very excited about it now, I will be in tears. Like I'm a huge movie crier. So
I love that. I love that men in general can like show their vulnerable sides. So like anytime I hear men, straight cis men talk about how they cry during movies. I'm just like, oh, that's so cute.
Well, I talk about on the show a lot. I'm very open. In fact, one of the questions in the rapid fire, which we'll talk about later, addresses movie crime, but it's just one of those things where I don't really cry in real life. I haven't for a long, long time. Like, and it's not because I'm cold and shut out from the world. I don't know. But like, so if I want to cry, like I literally have to like schedule a cry. I'm like, all right, I'm in the mood to cry. It's been a while. The Big Sick, that'll do it. Let me get on The Big Sick. I'll be in tears. Like something like that. I'll find a movie that I know makes me cry, and then I get it all out of my system. And I watched The Whale recently. I don't know if you've seen The Whale.
I have not seen that yet. Is it good?
So good. Like,
okay.
It's like he's brilliant in it, and like for me, it's probably the least confronting of Aronofsky's films, and the least dark. Like, it's definitely a dark, confronting film, but like talking about a guy who did Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, Mother. Like they're all pretty full on. So comparatively, it's not as full on, but it's a really like anything about fatherhood like gets me. And it's a story about a father trying to connect with his daughter, which really obviously touched me. And I found myself really identifying with the character of Charlie in a way I didn't think I would. I was like, oh wow, like, I was like, in some instances, I'm very much this guy, which is very unusual. And the ending like destroyed me. Like, there were a couple of times that made me cry, but the ending, and it's not like it's Aronofsky, right? So I won't spoil it for you, but Aronofsky doesn't always give you the most clearest endings. Like, it could be one thing, it could be another. It could be a really sad ending, it could be a really happy ending. You're not quite sure, but like, it was just like, oh my God, like I lost it. I was crying so much. I was lying in bed with the movie. I had it on my small TV, which I cry less at because it's smaller. But I was just like an absolute dribbling mess. I was like, oh my God. Like, so again, I don't know if that's everyone's experience with The Whale. I haven't spoken to too many people who've seen it, but it's great, and he's great, and it made me cry a lot. So
yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I've been wanting to. It's on my list of things to watch. So, but yeah, no. I mean, you're gonna have to tell me how you feel about the Age of Adaline once you watch it. But it's just so beautiful. And there's like a twist midway through the movie that I was like, when the first time I watched it, I was like, it blew my fucking mind. Like, I was like, holy shit! Like, this movie's so good. It like has a special place in my heart. It always will. This movie is just so good. Yeah. So moving on for my number two, this is another. The pattern today is coming of age stuff. I have a soft spot for these movies, but it's going to be Lady Bird.
Interesting. I have seen Lady Bird, so I can't talk about.
You don't like it or what?
I've seen Lady Bird once, and this is when I was shilling DVDs. So I used to work in a DVD store, kind of like the Australian version of a Best Buy. And there was just a customer who would come in every single day and rant like about how much he not rant, but like rave about Lady Bird and how much he loved it. I'm like, I'm getting there. I'm going to watch it. And so when I watched it, I was like, and again, this is before my change of heart. So back when I was very, very snobby and I was only enjoying about 25% of things I was watching, I was like, I can see it's a well-made film and there's some beautiful moments in it. But I was like, I feel like I've seen this movie before. But I haven't watched it since. So like, don't take my opinion of the film from like 5 years ago as fact, because I've got to give it another chance. And I really want to try it again because there were definitely some things in there, but I just found the character of Lady Bird like irritating. I was like, shut up. And I was like, stop. I was like, shut up. You're a teenager. Like, it's going to get better. And I hated Timothée Chalamet in it as well. But you meant to. Like, he's not a likable character. Yeah. I guess the film was very effective, and maybe that's why I felt the way I did. But I don't dislike the film. I just need to go and give another chance. I am keen to watch it again.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing about Lady Bird, the funny story with that is like so it got a shit ton of Oscar wins, nominations, stuff like that. And, this film had been on my radar for a really long time. So I went and bought it at Walmart, and it sat on my shelf for 4 months because I was just like, I don't know what it was with this film, but I was like, I feel like it's overhyped. I feel like I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be disappointed in it. So for some reason, I didn't watch it for the longest time. Like I said, it sat on my shelf for 4 months before I opened it and finally watched it. I watched this movie, James, and I watched it 2 more times in a row after I watched it. Wow. I loved it so much. This is one of my feel-good movies. I put this movie on when I'm like having a bad day or like feeling sad, or I'll put this movie on and just like, I don't know what it is, because like you said, it is a film that has been done before as far as coming of age movies, but like the way that Greta Gerwig directs this film, where you get scenes where you don't have normal dialogue in this movie. For example, like they'll cut to a random scene where somebody's already in mid conversation, where you don't get like the first part of the conversation, or she'll cut to like random things where it's like in the middle of a scene that you're used to when you typically watch a movie. You're used to watching the scene start from start to finish.
Yeah.
The way that she does this movie is you get like right in on what's going on without the lead up. And I love that. Like, I just feel like it's such a
I don't remember that. You're like, you are now selling me on this film. Like, I was already going to give it another go, but you're giving me like a new perspective on it, which is the beauty of this show. That's why I didn't want to tear it down too much, because I was like, every film deserves at least 2 chances, and it hasn't had a second chance. That's fascinating. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Well, and the opening fucking scene in itself is so funny to me. Like, I was
when she throws herself out the car.
Yes, and I was not expecting it. I think I watched that scene 5 times after that. I kept rewinding it because I was laughing so hard. But like that whole scene where she's like, "You should just go to City College, with your work ethic. Just go to City College and then to jail and then back to City College, and then maybe you'll learn to pick yourself up and not expect everybody." And then she just opens the door and throws herself out, and her mom's like, "Ah!" But Laurie Metcalf, can I say how fucking amazing she is in this movie?
So good. I will say that, like, all the performances are great, and like that moment where she throws herself out the car is so relatable. Like, I don't know how many conversations I've been in with people where I'm like, I just want to like open the door and just want to step into moving traffic, anything other than this. Like, I think that's maybe the most relatable thing in that movie for me.
And the fact that she like literally does what we've thought about doing before, like, but in real life, it's so fucking funny, and it's so unexpected, and it's just like such a great way to start this movie off with a bang. And then, granted, like, I agree with you. I think the character of Lady Bird is a bit abrasive, but I think that's like what I love about it. Like, Saoirse Ronan, by the way, I love her name. Like, I love Saoirse Ronan. It has my heart. She's like one of my favorite actresses. Like, she is so good in this movie. Like you were saying before, all the performances in this movie are really good. But I don't know. There's something about this movie. And maybe it's like the whole ending scene where like it really comes together, where you're getting like the shot of her mom driving, and then it cuts back to Lady Bird, and she's talking to, like, she's leaving her mom a message, and she's like, did you ever feel emotional when you drove through Sacramento the first time? Because I did, and it's just like, it's another one of those feelings that you feel like and I don't know, maybe it hits a special place in my heart because Kansas kind of reminds me of Sacramento. Like, Kansas is like kind of soul killing for me. It's like not a place that I thrive in, but somehow every time I go to visit and I leave, I miss it. Like, every time I leave Kansas, like every time I leave to go back home, there's something about it that I miss, and I don't know what it is. And I think I relate to that on a specific level with this movie, because it's the same thing when she's talking to her mom on the phone at the end, or she's leaving her parents a message, and she's like, did you ever feel sad when you drove through Sacramento the first time? And it just, I don't know, there's something about it that I relate to. So this is another movie that just without fail makes me emotional every time I watch it. So,
well, I was going to say, like, I did that whole like spiel at the start about why I didn't enjoy it the first time. That film did make me cry. Like, it did make me cry. So it definitely like was effective on me. I think, like, you're right. Lady Bird's very abrasive, which is actually a pretty accurate portrayal of being a teenager. Like, I think we like to think of ourselves as like, oh, like, I wasn't a problem child, like, because I wasn't out drinking every weekend, but I'm sure I was like a pain in the ass to my parents. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure I still had like that teen. I mean, I definitely had that. Oh, I had the teen angst. I was dressing in black and I was playing the angry music. Like, I was definitely full of teenage angst. So I probably was. We are all Lady Bird in a way.
Well, and the other thing that I really love about this movie is that, like, yes, it does, back to your point about it being kind of, a film that's been done before. She takes very subtle cliches in this movie. For example, I can't think of her name, but we talked about her in Booksmart. She's also the best friend character in this movie. She plays Lady Bird's best friend. She's Jonah Hill's sister. Cannot think of her freaking name for the life of me.
Beanie Feldstein?
Thank you.
Yeah.
She's like the book smart girl that's like the overachiever. She gets good grades, blah, blah, blah. But then she has this conversation with Lady Bird where she's like, I might just go to community college. And it's like, this girl could get anything. She could get any job she wants. She could go to any college because she gets good grades, as opposed to Lady Bird, who kind of just is average. But Lady Bird has the ambition. She wants to move to New York. She wants to go to like a really nice college. And the opposites of like playing that, like, I'm not saying that like Lady Bird's friend in the movie isn't like ambitious, but she's the stereotypical version of somebody who would be ambitious, the one who gets good grades, who does good in school, who overachieves. Lady Bird is the opposite of that, but she has the opposite ambition. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, absolutely. I'm
love
telling
that.
You're really selling me on this movie that I didn't think I liked. So, like, you really make me want to go back and watch it. So.
Well, I watched this movie when I was high once, and I was just like, talking to my friend. I was like, "Oh my god, I just picked up on that. Oh my god, this was so cool." And my friend's just like, "Oh," and I'm just like, "This movie is so much more deep than I ever thought it was." Watching it watching it sober. I watched it high. I was like, "Oh my god, this movie blew my mind." Yeah, maybe watch it high and maybe see how you feel. Because
we're not allowed to do that over here. None of it's legal.
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, it's not legal here in Utah either. But
I haven't. I had this. I don't know why. My buddy Nick, who's been on the show before, when we first started hanging out, I guess I had a reputation as the guy who got high and watched movies all the time. I've never touched a drug in my life. I was just like, but like, I guess because like I was just like always talking about movies, and I'm bearded and I was a bit heavy set. They're like, yeah, he's the stoner who watches movie. Like, I watch movies, but I've never touched the grass, my friend, to sound like a real square. Like,
no, you don't sound like a square at all. I think it's perfectly fine for you not to do it. It's not something you need to do personally. Like, if you've never felt the need to do it, then I didn't feel the need to do it until I was 27. I didn't start doing that.
I'm just terrified of getting in trouble. If it was legal, I'm sure I'd imbibe, at least to see what it's like. But
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This movie is just a masterpiece to me, and I love it. And I also love that it's made by a female director. So
she's great. And I mean, speaking of Greta Gerwig, that Barbie flick looks incredible.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited. So excited. And also Little Women was really good too.
Yeah.
Which is another movie that Saoirse Ronan was in.
And one of our favorites, Florence Pugh.
Yes. Florence Pugh was the standout in that movie, personally.
She's the standout in everything she does. Like,
that's true. Yeah.
Like, she's
I always say if you're in a movie with Florence Pugh, you got to be on a certain level, which I think is why, like, people, when they talk about Don't Worry, Darling, they always shit on Harry Styles' performance. And I'm like, Harry Styles did not do bad. Like, Harry Styles is not a bad actor. But when you're in a movie with Florence Pugh, you have to be at her level or you're just going to look like a square. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to look like you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Like, we've talked about Midsommar a few times on this show and in this episode, but like, she carries that film. Like, she carries it. Like, and that's, no one in that film is bad, but she carries it. Like, even like, again, I don't want to talk about too many superhero films, so you're not a superhero guy. But Black Widow, which is a perfectly fine film, a lot of people didn't like that film, is great.
That's the only reason I watched that movie is because she's in it.
She's so good in it. Like, Scarlett Johansson is a star. Like, she's fantastic. She plays second fiddle to Florence Pugh in that film. Like, she carries that movie.
Absolutely, she does.
She was the most exciting part of that film. Florence Pugh, we talked about this before. I think we were messaging one night. I was like, can we just get a film? I don't care what it is, but like Mia Goth, Florence Pugh, Anya Taylor-Joy, like just the modern female Hollywood. Like, can we get them all in like a slasher film or like an Ocean's 11 film? I just want to see all of these like great actresses together doing something because they're like, I don't think I've been more excited about modern Hollywood than ever before. There's so much wonderful talent out there.
Speaking of like people being in a movie, or like being together in general, I saw an Instagram post, and I don't remember if it was from, I think it was from Emma Roberts, but Emma Roberts and Florence Pugh are friends, and I'm just like,
oh, I like that.
I've died and went to heaven because I never knew that they were friends. I didn't even know that Emma Roberts was friends with Taylor Swift, and there's footage of Emma Roberts at one of her Eras Tour concerts dancing, and I'm just like, my life is complete.
Oh, I'm a big Emma Roberts fan as well. Like, and that started with Scream 4. Like, she's so good.
Same. Well, actually, I used to watch her in Unfabulous, that Nickelodeon show that she started in.
Oh, Have you ever seen that? Not aware of that one, no.
It's really bad, but like, I grew up with it, so it's like, but it's so crazy to see her go from that to being like really edgy now and like being like really bitchy in roles, and like she went from that to being like, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, love her.
Oh, so good. So good. I just started thinking about modern Hollywood. I'm like, man, it's so good. So good. Florence Pugh was recently on a podcast that I listened to. I haven't listened to her episode yet, called Off Menu. It's a British podcast. So there's two British comedians, James Acaster and Ed Gamble. They get people together and talk about their favorite foods. Like it's just like a food podcast, but like they're comedians.
Oh, and Florence Pugh is definitely a foodie.
And she's on it. She's on it. So I can't wait to listen. And she talks about Midsommar on it apparently. So I'm really keen to hear her talk about food and cults and death. Should be good.
So exciting.
Anyway, plugging everyone's podcast today.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
you've turned me around on Lady Bird. Like, I'm ready to go back to Lady Bird.
I'm excited for you to watch it.
I'll have to pass you on my thoughts. We do talk about movies from time to time on like when we're messaging, not often, but I remember I watched Climax because I was listening to your podcast. I'm like, hey, God. It's so weird. Like you're talking about Climax. I'm literally watching Climax today. I'll talk to you about it. And like at the end of it, I'm like, I get why you don't like it. And then I came on your show. I was like, my opinion has changed. I like it now. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't care for that one. I don't want to ever watch it again.
That director, like that's another one who like Gaspar Noé, he's not quite as intense as say like some of the other directors we mentioned, but like he makes some pretty controversial, tough films as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 2, Lady Bird.
That means we are it. We're at the pointy end of it all. I have no idea what you're going to mention. Like I could not have predicted anything on this list. Maybe Mean Girls would have been maybe my only guess. Like, and it wasn't even on the top 5. It was in your honorable mentions.
Well, I'll give you a hint. I mentioned this movie a little bit earlier, and I said it was on my list. So I don't know if you remember. But
well, that was like 4 hours ago. So.
We'll test your memory. Do you remember our conversation from almost 4 hours?
I do remember,
ago?
but I remember you mentioned it, but I can't remember what it was
now. Well, it's a classic film. It came out in 1997. It broke box office records. It was the highest grossing film of all time for the almost 20 years until Avatar fucking came out and ruined everything, but it's fine. I have I'm like, how did Avatar beat this movie out? I'm sorry. Like, I like Avatar, but I'm just like, really? No.
I've never seen Avatar. I'm developing a bit of a notoriety as being a James Cameron hater on the show, which is not true. I don't really like the way he speaks in interviews. I think he's very
arrogant.
Yeah, he can't talk about movies without putting other movies down. Like it's got to like I remember and I remember I read an interview and it was like the announcement of one of the Avengers films. And it's like, why would you do the same thing over and over again? Do something different. And in that same interview, he announced Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm like, shut up! Just make movies. Like, just make movies because the movies you make are good. Like, ironically, most of the movies he makes, I don't like as much as the ones that came before. So I'm in the very small audience of people who prefers Alien to Aliens. I prefer Terminator to Terminator 2. He made both, so that's a little bit different. But I don't dislike him as a director, but I just sometimes some of the things he says, I'm like, shut up. Like, just make a movie.
Oh, yeah. He's very, I think sometimes he's very big-headed. Like, he's definitely, which I mean, in a sense, I'm like, well, you kind
He's earned it. He's earned it.
Like, but I'm still kind of like, it still irks me when celebrities and like people act that way because it's like, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us normal people who support your films. So think about that for a minute before you get your high and mighty attitude.
I know it's the movie business and you've got to be competitive, but there's a way to like carry yourself. Like you don't need to talk down other films and franchises in order to promote yours. Like that to me is a sign of someone who's not good at marketing. Like if you can't promote your film without tearing something else about you, you're not getting it. Because I mean, maybe it's just me being the most positive guy in podcasting, but like, can't we just celebrate all of it? Like, isn't it, especially post-pandemic? Like, shouldn't we be celebrating every film? Because the more films that get celebrated, the more people are going back to the movie theaters, and then the industry's back on track. So we should just be excited about all the movies.
Exactly.
Anyway, we are going to talk about Titanic, which is brilliant.
My favorite movie of all time, like hands down. Anytime anybody asks me, I'm like, Titanic. I don't even have to like hesitate. And this is probably my most watched movie of all time. I've seen this movie. I freaking wore out, I think, probably 2 or 3 VHS tapes because I watched this movie literally every day when I was a kid.
Wow.
And like, I still watch this movie. I don't watch it as often anymore as I used to, but like, I mean, I still... Oh, this movie. Like, what can I even start about? I mean, I've always been like, even before Titanic, the movie, I was obsessed with like the history of Titanic. Like, if you look around my room, I've got like just beyond on my left-hand side, I've got like a Titanic book, like an actual book. I've got like 10 different Titanic books. So many things. Like I might also be nerdy when it comes to movies, but I'm also a big Titanic nerd. So ask me anything about it, and I pretty much know like everything there is to know about Titanic. But like this movie, just like, and I know it's changed. I changed the lives of a lot of people when it came out. Like this movie is such a phenomenon, and the fact that people still talk about this movie to this day. This movie is what 25 years old now, and I got to see this movie in the theater for the first time a couple months ago, and it was just like. it was an experience. It was amazing. But yeah, I love this movie so much. And this is another kind of film where it's like appreciate your life because you don't know when it's going to be gone and you don't know like when the people in your life are going to, disappear and stuff like that. And it's just like, and granted, like it is based off a real tragedy. So it is a very devastating movie in that aspect as well. But it's also a devastating, like the love story in this movie this is the best love story of any movie, in my opinion.
That is a bold claim. I don't have like anything off the cuff I can throw into the ring. That is a bold claim. It is a very romantic movie, and you said it's the movie you watch more than anything. Like that's a long movie. You have sunk like months into this movie. Like
well, and when I say that like I know this movie inside and out, like I can listen to the score of this movie
and know whereabouts in the movie.
No whereabouts in the movie. I know all the sound effects in the movie. I know all the people scream. I know what the people sound like in the movie screaming. I know what all the sound like when the ship's breaking apart. Like I know everything. Wow. Like I know this movie with my eyes closed. And like there's just like certain like quotes that I just like I try to incorporate. Like there was one day where I was visiting Kansas and my friend like opened the car door for me. And I just got out and I said, I don't know what all the fuss is about. It doesn't look any bigger than the Mauritania. And my friend is like, where the fuck did that come from? And I was like, I don't know. Just when you opened my door for me, it reminded me of when Rose gets introduced. I don't know. And I have to say, Kate Winslet was my like first crush, I think. I have a thing for redheaded women. They're just beautiful. And Kate Winslet in this movie is like timeless. She's so gorgeous.
I definitely had a crush on her after Titanic as well. I don't know if she's my first. No, I think my first crush was like... do you remember you might be too young for the show. It was like The Strange World of Alex Mack, and it's like a girl who could turn into a puddle. I had a big crush on her.
Oh, I know who you're talking. Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I had a crush on her. But yeah, Kate Winslet, I was just like, wow, like, yeah.
She's phenomenal. I mean, everybody in this movie is phenomenal, but Kate Winslet for me steals the show. Like, she's just so freaking great. And like just like so many other memorable lines. Like I love the whole like scene that her and Jack have on the boat deck where she's like, all the while I feel like I'm standing in the middle of a crowded room screaming at the top of my lungs and no one even looks up. And he's like, do you love him? Excuse me? Do you love him? Or pardon me? Do you love him? You're being very rude. You shouldn't be asking me this. Well, it's a simple question. Do you love the guy or not? This is not a suitable conversation. Well, why can't you just answer the question? You don't know me and I don't know you, and we are not having this conversation at all. You are rude and uncouth and presumptuous, and I am leaving now. Thank you, Mr. Dawson. It's been a pleasure. I sought you out to thank you, and now I have thanked you, and you've insulted me. Well, you deserved it. Sorry. I'm sorry. Your listeners are probably like, Jesus Christ, this guy.
No,
never have him on your show again.
No. I mean, look, your listeners probably felt the same way after my debut because...
No, you actually got a lot of praise from a lot of people. They loved it.
Oh, lovely! So, I love to hear that. Yeah. Hopefully, they jump, not jump ship, or pardon the pun, but hopefully they came across and checked out the show as well. But no, I was just like, man, you're really putting me to shame with these quotes. Like, I think I'm pretty good with movie quotes, but you're doing monologues.
Well, no, there's one more thing that I always like to quote for some reason, just out of context. Like sometimes I'll just quote these things out of context, but I love the part where her mom, Ruth, and like all the other women are sitting around the table and she's like, the purpose of university is to find a suitable husband. Rose has already done that. And then the one girl's like, here comes that vulgar brown woman. And she's like, quickly sit up before she sits with us. She's like, hello, girls. I was hoping to catch you at tea. Oh, I'm awfully sorry. You just missed it. The Countess and I were off to take the air on the boat deck. Oh, what a wonderful idea. I need to catch up on my gossip.
It's not just the accuracy, it's the accent, it's the airy way you carry. Oh, it's brilliant. I haven't seen Titanic in a long time. Like it would be probably over close to 20 years. It's been a long time since I've seen Titanic, but I remember loving the film. I know. I don't even own I own it on VHS. That's the last physical copy I have of it. So it's on my list to get and to rewatch as well. But I don't feel bad because it is so memorable. Like I think about like when she's down under the decks and she's like dancing on her toes and they're playing the fiddle and stuff like that. Like I can still remember like the gates closing, trying to stop the water from crashing through. Like I remember like the string quartet playing as the ship starts going down. Like and like just the whistles, like that's the haunting sound of the whistles, like after the ship's like starting to sink. Like I remember all that, and it's been over 20 years. Like, and that's why I try to stress I'm not a James Cameron hater. Like he's a brilliant filmmaker. He just says dumb stuff. And to be fair, we all do. Like I've said plenty of dumb things on this episode alone, but like it's such a strong film and it's so iconic and has so many moments. Like I can go 20 years without watching it and like remember so many things about it. Like
it's like so ingrained in like our pop culture that like even like still to this day memes like TikToks, stuff like that are like being made from this movie. Like it's just like for this movie to stand the test of time like it does, like it has, and like to even a new generation of, you know, moviegoers that have never seen this movie before, still like this movie is still so relevant like to today. Like it has not aged a day. This movie has aged like fine wine. Like, and I still think that in 100 years, this movie will still stand the test of time. I think this movie will still be like such a beloved movie. And yeah, I love this movie so much. I'm immune. I will say, I've talked a lot about crying on this podcast with these movies, but this movie, I'm pretty much immune to crying at now. I can cry if I'm in the right mindset. Like if I haven't watched this movie in like a few years, I'll get emotional, or if I'm like in a certain state of mind, I can get emotional with this movie. But I've seen this movie too many times. I can't cry anymore. Like I can't.
I find that the worst thing about having a favorite film that you watch regularly is that it does lose some of its effect sometimes. So, for example, one of my favorite films of all time is Clerks. That doesn't play as a comedy to me anymore. Like I've seen it that many times. I know all the jokes. I'm like, this is just a documentary about what it's like to work in a bad job, but it still works for me and I still love it. But like the jokes don't I don't laugh at every single joke anymore because I just know it back to I know all the cues. And the more you get to know a film, and the more you go to appreciate, and the more you watch it, like unfortunately sometimes you do lose some of the effect of it because it's just like part of your DNA. But it doesn't take away. Titanic is a brilliant film. Like what? And again, I think it's the first time. Like I don't think there's been a single film on your list that we talked about before. Like we've never done any.
Can I just come on for every single movie that we've talked about? Can we just like spread the episodes out, of course? But can I like can I be a dick here, be a selfish prick for a second, and just lock myself in on every single one of these movies except for Mean Girls because you already did that one, I guess.
Well, we don't do. I mean, look, and I'm not saying no. Like we actually don't really do episodes just on one movie. That's something we're talking about for the premium shows. But we haven't really done that, and you can definitely come on those. But like, so yeah, we've talked about Mean Girls in like a 5-minute clip. But we haven't talked about Mean Girls. Like we talked about more about Mean Girls today than we did in the clip that's coming up later on down the line. So you've definitely done that. But we can do that, or you can just come on and do more lists because we've got 80s movies to talk about, we've got 90s movies to talk about. The apocalypse is coming. That's our next topic, apocalyptic films. So there's always room for you to come on and talk about movies. Absolutely.
Yes, I would love to anytime because this has been a fucking blast. Like I love just chatting with you. But
we talked about it on your show. Like and I've said like I use the phrase talkers a lot. Like it seems so like reductive, but like that's what you need to be on a podcast. You need to be a talker, and I don't mean you can talk and talk and talk. I mean you can talk and be interesting and link it to things, have a conversation. And not everyone can do that. And I'm certainly not saying that I can do that. I can kind of do it, but I'm not like going and say that I'm good at. But like the best guest, the best episode, and to be fair, like if I don't say so, if I'm not sounding too braggy. The last 10 episodes of my show are maybe the best 10 episodes I've done because everyone's now getting comfortable. Everyone's getting used to it. Like these are repeat guests that are getting settled in. And now, with the exception of Kevin and Jason from Midnight Terrace who do it all the time, the exception of Samantha, that was a shock. I didn't think she'd be as good as she was. But like everyone's getting comfortable. So now the content is getting stronger because they're talkers and they're learning to be talkers and they're learning to link it to different things and open. Like so, yeah, I love this stuff. And you are like, I'm not wrapping up the episode. There's still more to do, but like you're welcome back anytime.
No, you're good.
Like you're back anytime, definitely. Of course.
Well, off the record, we are gonna have to probably wrap this up pretty quick because I have to be somewhere in like 30-ish minutes, but
we will be done before 30 minutes.
No rush. But no rush. You can cut this part out. I was just kind of like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be like having dinner soon, and yeah. But no, I'm like, this has been a blast. I did think of one more
honorable mention.
Well, no, I did think of like one more scene from Titanic that I just fucking love quoting, and I don't know if your listeners want to hear it, but I kind of want to do it anyway. Is that okay? Okay, like like the whole lunch scene, like where they're sitting there like talking about the ship when he's like, she's the largest moving object ever made by the hands of man in all history. And our master shipbuilder here, Mr. Andrews, designed her from the keel plates up. And then he's like, oh, I may have knocked her together, but the idea was Mr. Ismay's. He envisioned a steamer so grand in scale, so luxurious in its appointments that its supremacy would never be challenged. And here she is, wielded into solid reality. And then that's when Rose is like smoking the cigarette and her mom's like, I don't like that, Rose. And then Cal just takes it from her and he's like, she knows. And he's like, we'll both have the lamb, rare with very little mint salt. You like lamb, right, Sweet Pea? And then Molly Brown's like, you gonna cut her meat for her too there, Cal? And she's like, say, who thought of the name Titanic? Was that you, Bruce? Well, yes, actually. I wanted to convey sheer size. And size means stability, luxury, and above all, strength. Do you know of Dr. Freud, Mr. Ismay? His ideas about the male preoccupation with size might be of particular interest to you. That whole scene, I love quoting it, and I love doing all the different characters. People probably think I'm just like crazy, like they're like multiple personality disorder or something. Because yeah.
No, that's what we do. Like that's what we do. Like that's why this my show exists and why your show exists, because we don't go to the movies and be like, all right, cool. All right, done.
That was a good movie.
That was 2 hours to kill. Like, we are obsessed. Like, we're mad scientists. We pick it apart and we learn about it. We understand it and we repeat it and we quote it and we watch it again and again and again. And we get other people to watch and get their opinions. Like, it's an obsession. It's not just a way to kill 2 hours or something to distract us from the fact that we're all going to die one day, although that's there as well. Like, it's so much more than that. There's so much meaning to it. Like, I've told this story a few times in the show, but I'll tell it again because it's important to me. There was a time in my life where I walked into this office one day, and I looked at my collection of Blu-rays. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, am I wasting my time? Like, why am I collecting all these things that are going to gather dust and get destroyed one day? And why am I spending, like, should I be doing something else? Should I be working harder to try and contribute to the human race? Like, am I wasting time? And the answer is no.
No,
like, movies are important. They are. Like, it sounds trivial, and they're not, if it comes to life or death, they're not the most important thing. But, like, without movies, I don't have a way to communicate. I don't have a way to understand people. Like, movies help me relate to people more. They bring me closer. And I think that's the same for a lot of people. Like, storytelling is the one natural gift that we all share as a people. Like, we all are storytellers. Whether we're good at it or not, we can all tell a story. We all have a story to tell. And film is just the next step. It's that collective shared idea of storytelling where you can watch Avatar or Avengers or Titanic in any country, in any language, and you're going to get something from it. Like, you might not be able to relate to it on the same level as the people who were there or the people from that culture, but you're going to get something from it. Like, it's just you're learning about different people and different cultures and different perspectives, and it's so important. And I think because we wait in line and throw our $10 down and get popcorn and an ice cream, people don't think it's important, but it absolutely is. So you don't need to apologize or excuse yourself for going through a monologue out of a film, because that's what we do. Like, that's what it is to us. And like, there are people who don't get it, and that's fine. I don't get football. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, it's not for me. I'm not a football guy. I'm a movie guy. Like, if you can sit on the couch and eat peanuts and drink beer for 3 hours watching guys throw a ball around, why can't I do the exact same thing with anything
movies
on my shelf? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Because I'm getting the same feeling you are. I'm getting excited and nervous and tense and worried. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to cry. It's the exact same thing. So anyway, this is my little rant.
I love it. I love it. And I would say the same thing, but you basically said everything that I was feeling. So you're completely right. Film is important. And, when you think about like the last 100 years, like, film has been prevalent for almost a century. Like we got those old black and white silent films in the late 1920s, you know, and then it evolved from that to, you know, horror, like classic horror films, which were in black and white, and then color. And then not only just horror films, but just like film in general is just, when you look at the last 100 years, like we've come so far, and it's so crazy that we have so many more stories to tell and so many more, you know, films to make. And it's just, it's such an exciting, like, it's an exciting topic to talk about. And that's why we have these podcasts, is because there's endless possibilities when you talk about movies. Like there's so many movies, you can have a podcast for the next 100 years. Like, and that's just how much I love it. I love every single minute about it. But another thing I love about Titanic, real quick, to wrap up my Titanic, I love the score of this movie.
Yes.
The score is so beautiful. I love it. It's probably my favorite movie score of any movie ever. So
wow.
I love Titanic. There's a reason why it's my favorite movie of all time, and it will always be my favorite movie of all time, and I just love it. So
no, it's great.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, guys.
It's another one. Like honestly, like I'm thinking I'm gonna rewatch everything that's on your list. Like the only one I hadn't seen before was Age of Adeline and Drop Dead Gorgeous, which are going to go to the top of the list. But I'm ready to rewatch all of them. So that was I would say, a very good list.
Thank you. You have to update me when you watch these movies. You have to tell me what you thought, what your like first like thoughts are after you finish. Like,
yeah, definitely. Well, that's what I do when people recommend stuff. I'll be like, okay, I'm watching it now. I'll let you know what I think. Which I did with you with Climax. I'm like, I'm watching it now. I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah. Same with
Pearl. You're like, please don't. I don't want to hear about this movie anymore.
Oh no, I was curious to see if you'd like it or not. So it was very fun. But with Pearl, it was like every 5 minutes. I was like, what part are you on now?
Yeah.
What part are you on now? You're like, she just fucked the Scarecrow. And I said, oh yeah, that Scarecrow is a big one.
But so worth the wait, that one. I've been like tempted to rewatch Pearl again, like every month since I've watched it. I'm like, I will. But there are other films that I haven't watched in a while. I can't just watch Pearl all the time. I've got to come back to it.
Exactly.
And I'm psyched for Maxine. They just announced the cast like recently. Like I'm all and like these films. And we are wrapping up, but these films, like, they turned me around on Ty West. Like, I think I said on your show, I wasn't a huge Ty West fan. I thought he was kind of pretentious. Like, when I was younger, ironically, coming from the guy who was just entirely pretentious. But I found him very pretentious early on. But then, like, The Sacrament I really liked, House of the Devil I really liked. And then these two films are brilliant. Like, so that's why everything deserves a second chance. And you can wait 10 years and try again. Like, come back to them. They'll get better the next time. Like,
I agree. And the way Mia Goth looks in Maxine, I'm so for it. I will admit though, the first time I saw those pictures, it looks like she's getting out like of a car, and she's wearing like the overalls, but it's like, and then she has like the wavy blonde hair. I thought those were pictures of Amber Heard. I thought that was Amber Heard for a second.
Oh wow! I don't think I've seen the pictures yet. I don't know why, but like for some reason I'm like, why isn't this movie out yet? Like, because X and Pearl were shot back to back. I'm like, what's taking so long? Like, why didn't you film all three back to back?
And I don't want to insult Mia Goth by saying that, because Amber Heard is a piece of shit and I hate her. But like, she, like, when I first saw her, like the first glimpse of her, I was like, is that Amber Heard? And then I saw Pearl, I saw Maxine. I was like, oh, that's Mia Goth. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to come on your podcast and talk more about movies too.
Yeah, and I'll be back on yours soon as well. Like, I'll come on and we'll do some more horror. Because we don't do a lot of, as I said, we don't do a lot of horror on here. We get to do it every now and then, but it's pretty rare. So, because most of my guests don't watch a lot of horror films.
And honestly, it's refreshing to come on a podcast and not fucking talk about horror for once. Like, this was nice.
That's what Kevin and Jay said as well. They're like, I was like, you can talk about non-horror films. I'm like, thank you so much. Like, we love horror, and that's why we do a show. But like, it's good to talk about other films. I'm like, yeah, like that's why I love coming on yours, because I don't get to talk about horror a lot. Like, I've got a couple of guests who have done it, but not too many. And even in the Halloween one, so last October, I was like, I'm not going to go top 5 horror films. I know most of you don't watch them, but can we do the top 5 films that scared you most? So that way, at least you can talk about something you've watched. And that was our way around it. And then the whole Tyler and Harley thing happened, and that like changed all the plans anyway, which for the better was really good. Alrighty, so fantastic list. I love it. The last part of the show is the rapid fire questions. So I haven't done this in a little while, so I'm out of practice. It's never rapid, but we'll try and push through it as quickly as possible. And then we'll be done. You'll have survived your first episode. So, Michael, what was the last thing you watched?
The last thing I watched, Shit. What was the last thing? One Tree Hill. I've been getting back into One Tree Hill again, and my friend Eric has been watching it with me. I've seen One Tree Hill 12 times, like all 9 seasons I've watched 12 times. I'm a creature of habit. I like to watch things over and over and over, and people don't understand why I like to do that, but it's just, something I like to do. But so One Tree Hill is the last thing I watched.
Nice one. And just to make it more topical, what was the last movie you watched?
The last movie I watched, I believe, was there's so many movies that are popping in my head. I'm like, not that one. Scream 6, actually, because Scream 6 is now on Paramount Plus. So
it's
I just
on Paramount
watched
Plus.
Scream 6.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
nice. I can't wait. Like that trailer was so good, and that shot of Ghostface with the gun, like,
oh yeah,
we should have hated. We should have hated because it's like, no, his weapon's a knife. So badass. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see Ghostface with a gun. It looks great.
It's a badass scene. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Excellent. All right, Michael, what's been sitting on your watch list forever? So you said before that you took you 4 months to open Lady Bird. What's one of those films you keep meaning to watch and you keep putting off for whatever reason it may be?
Can I say a show instead of a movie?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So I've been meaning to finish. Well, I started Midnight Mass, but I haven't finished it yet. I get to the spot where I like take a break and then I don't get back to it, and then I have to start over again to refresh myself. I'm just having a hard time getting through it, and it's not because it's not good, because I think Midnight Mass is amazing.
Is this the Netflix one?
Yeah, this is the Mike Flanagan one. This is
Oh, of course. I haven't seen it either, so just like I haven't watched it.
And I love it. I'm not having a hard time getting through with it because I don't like it or anything. It's because I don't know why. I just get to a certain point and then I like get distracted and then I don't go back to it for a while. So that's a show I'm struggling to finish.
I'm like that with shows. So I haven't even started The Last of Us, which apparently is brilliant. Like I still there's so much I haven't watched. Like I'm still halfway through season whatever The Walking Dead. Like TV shows, I'm terrible with TV shows. That's why I focus more on movies, because I can watch them pretty quickly. Excellent. Now I think I know the answer to this one because we've talked about it already, but I did say it was coming up. Are you a movie crier?
Oh, absolutely. I'm just a crybaby in general. I get that from my mother. Thanks, Mom. I cry over anything. Like I'll be watching videos on Instagram and like a freaking like cat or a puppy video come on where it's like an adoption video, or like something talking about like, oh, I found this cat on the side of the road and I picked him up and nursed him back to health and now he's part of the family, and that just fucking makes me cry like a baby. Like I will cry about anything, like marriage proposals, freaking just all that. Like I cry about everything, literally.
I love a movie cry. I was saying before, like it's so cathartic. It's the best feeling. Like and I love a surprise movie cry where I wasn't expecting to cry. I'm like, oh my goodness, maybe this is even better. Like I love it.
Yeah.
It never used to happen, and it's so weird. And it first happened to me, I want to say when I was like 24, 25. Like I just moved out of my dad's house. So my wife, she's my girlfriend at the time, we were renting. And I started getting into Modern Family, and I don't know what happened, but just watching that show made me cry almost every episode.
That show is so sad.
Yeah, like beautiful, and there's such a wonderful moment. I haven't watched it in a while. I think the last season I watched was like season 5 or 6, so I'm way behind on it. But there was a scene, and Haley, the Sarah Hyland character, gets arrested, and they come to bust her out of jail, and like Mum's angry and stuff like that, and she doesn't really do anything. And then Phil Dunphy, played by Ty Burrell, who's a wonderful actor, like not just a wonderful comedic actor, like he's in Dawn of the Dead, like he's great. He loses it, and you've never seen this character lose it before on the show. Like it's taken 3 seasons to see him get angry, and he loses his daughter, and it's heartbreaking because you're like, he's like, you don't understand. Like, why do I have to be the one who? Like, I'm not the angry one. Like, I just want to look after you, but you're doing this to yourself. You're destroying your life, and like that, like had me in a mess. Like, and that wasn't even the first time I cried in that show, but that's a show that always made me cry. So that's where it started. Now I cry all the time. So I love a movie cry. Where are we? Michael, is there an actor or actress that you'll follow anywhere? Doesn't matter what the film is. They're in it. You're buying your ticket. You're going to go check it out.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah. I mean, Florence I would Pugh. Also
like take my money. Take
Florence
my money.
Pugh, Mia Goth.
Yeah. Florence Pugh, Mia Goth, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Sophia Bush. The list goes on and on. Like I can just, oh my gosh. I'm just like, stomp me on the ground, steal my money, call me a piece of shit, spit on me, and then walk away. And I will consider it a fucking like, oh my God, I just met Florence Pugh, you know? Like if she was gonna mug me in a back alley somewhere and call me a piece of shit and spit in my face and then walk away, I'd be like, thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank
I bet
you.
Florence Pugh. Like
I got my ass kicked from Florence Pugh. That's one for the books, people. Yeah.
Oh my god. Alrighty. Now we don't want to be negative on the show, and I try my best not to be. But what's the worst movie you ever saw?
Probably Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
I was waiting for it.
That or The Grudge 2020, because those are both fucking terrible.
Oh, it's bad. I haven't seen any of the Grudge films, so I
And you know, I might be biased because I hold the 2004 one to such a high regard, and like the original Ju-on films, I hold to such a high regard that when this movie came out, I was just like, no, this was lazy. This was terrible, and I hate it, and I've never seen it since. So
lazy is tough. Like again, like I don't really hate any film. I can generally try and find something good about a movie. Like even on your show when I came on, you're like, we're doing the worst 5 films. I'm like, oh, I don't really do that, so I'm gonna try and find something negative to say about them, and then I blamed myself for all the films.
Yes.
But there are 2 sins. The biggest sin a film can be is boring, but lazy is a close second. Like,
yeah. It sucks because it's like there's so much potential there, and it's just like you're not going there, and it's frustrating. But yeah, that's my answer.
That was my feeling on the Tom Cruise Mummy film. I thought it was a lazy film. That I hadn't thought of it until it wasn't until right now that you said that word that I thought it was, because I was sitting there in the theater and people were like, why'd you go and see it? And I was like, because I go and see a movie every week. Back then I was seeing a movie. I was going to theaters every week. Like it was great. Like there's a cinema around the corner from my house, $10 tickets. Every week I was going to movies, and some weeks I was going more than once because if my wife came. So I think the most I went to the cinemas in a year was like 80 times, which was the best year of my life. So good.
Yes.
But I went to the Mummy and I'm sitting there, I'm like, this isn't bad. Like, why are people like kind of crapping on this film? Like, it's fine. And then after all, I was like, oh, I get it. Like, it's not bad. It's just not doing anything interesting. And my whole thing was, and Tom Cruise,
Tom Cruise.
I've gone back and forth on him a lot. Top Gun 2 was the film that shocked me the most last year. I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed it. It was a film I wasn't excited for. I wasn't looking forward to, but everyone was talking about it. I was like, I've got to check it out. Like if everyone is saying unanimously, there's got to be something to it. And I really did enjoy it. But the Mummy, like the whole time he was just pretending or trying to prove that he wasn't old. And I was like, oh, but the curse of the Mummy is immortality. So you could do something really interesting with this. And you've chosen not to do that. Like you could make him choose between like accepting his issues with age and growing old, or taking this immortality and becoming a villain, and they didn't really do either of those things with it. So there's a little tangent there because you mentioned lazy. I'm like, oh, that's the word, yeah.
Yes, lazy, uninspired, yes.
Yeah, but they were cool. Like there were still cool things in that movie. Like I don't think it's a total, trash fire or anything, but like it could have done more. Could have done more.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing is when they could have done more,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's weird because I've got double standards because there are some films that I like and they're not good, but I'm like, well, it's fine. Like it's got a number. Like X-Men: Last Stand is a film that I really loved as a teenager, and I still do like it. But people are like, like, oh, I could have done more. I'm like, why? It's got a 3 in the title because back then sequels weren't good. So I'm like, it's got a 3 in the title, and I'm entertained. You've won. Now like sequels are great. They most of the time they put in the effort and do a lot more with it. But back then, if it had a 3 in the title, like you knew what you were getting.
Exactly.
I just lost my voice.
You're good.
Yeah, talking about Tom Cruise and X-Men 3. Alrighty, last question on the rapid fire. It's a world of remakes and redos and stuff like that, but what's one film they should never, ever remake?
The Shining.
Oh, that's a good answer.
I don't think you ever need to remake it. I think Dr. Sleep came as close to being almost as good as The Shining as you can get. So, and that's a sequel. That's not even a remake. So, yeah, I don't think I don't even think you should touch The Exorcist, but here we are. And we're getting, and I'm kind of worried because it's David Gordon Green and we saw how the Halloween trilogy worked out. So,
well, I mean, how I'm one of the few people who love that trilogy. So I'm actually someone who thinks that trilogy gets better with each film, but I know I'm in the vast minority there, so that's fine. Shining's a great answer. Shining is a wonderful movie. I love The Shining so much.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's a great answer.
Yeah,
Michael, that is it. It's pretty close to 3 hours. We actually did get pretty close to 3 hours, which I did predict. Yeah. But it didn't feel like it, at least for me. That was a blast. It flew by.
3 hour. We almost watched Titanic in this time.
I know. We could have done a commentary to it.
That would be fun. Let's do it.
I mean, like one thing. Look, I'm giving the game away now, but one thing we're talking about with the premium shows is doing commentaries. So maybe we'll have to do a Titanic one together.
Sign me up. Yes.
That is the end of a very long but very entertaining episode of I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I can't thank you enough, Michael, for showing up and doing this. It's taken us a while to get here, but 100% worth the wait. Lovely to have you on and had a great chat about all sorts of things. Please go and check out Michael's show. It's brilliant. Like, it's legitimately brilliant. I know I throw that word around a lot describing people and podcasts, but it's because I truly believe it. His show is fantastic. It's entertaining. It's funny. It has the mark of a great podcast, which is when you're listening to it, you want to be part of the conversation. If you don't want to join the conversation when you listen to a podcast, it's not a good podcast. So I hope everyone wants to join the conversation on my show.
Yes, absolutely. I wanted to interject several times during the Midsommar episode. I was like, yes, let me get in here. You know,
it's really, really good. He's had some fantastic guests on who are other podcasters or just friends, and his Tyler and Harley episode is really, really good as well.
As is yours, friend.
Thank you, sir. And where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at the We Love Horror Podcast. I'm on Instagram. I am also on TikTok at the We Love Horror Podcast. And I also have a YouTube channel that I started a couple months ago called Anything and Everything Horror, which is just kind of like a spinoff of like my tagline that I use on every episode when I say, hey, horror guys and gals, and welcome back to the We Love Horror Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything horror. And I thought that was kind of like a fun little, kitschy thing to add for so I have a YouTube channel where I basically do the same thing just in video form, where I do trailer reactions, movie reviews, stuff like that. So yeah, check me out on all those platforms and anywhere you stream your podcasts. So
definitely.
Thank you for having me on.
I'm so happy having you on. It's been an absolute blast. Check out all of his stuff. It's so, so good. What else do I need to say before I wrap things up? We've got some things coming up soon. Episode 50 is weeks away. I'm still recording part of it, but we are very, very close to episode 50. The first half is a blast. The second half is going to be just as good, I can tell. We have merch coming. There'll be more information about that soon, so watch this space. You can follow me on Instagram at @IWasATeenageFilmSnob _ between every word. I'm doing Q&As on a pretty regular basis, so throw a question out. I will respond. If you ask anything dumb, I won't, but when I say dumb, I mean like really dumb. Like, don't ask me the same question 4 times. If I haven't answered the first time, I'm not answering
it. Feet pics? Feet pics? Question mark?
No, no, but I did have someone ask me 3 times the last time I wet the bed, which I can confirm I was a child. I'm not a chronic bedwetter. There you go. Your question has been answered. No, it was a long, long time ago. It was back when I was toilet training. I'm a movie watcher. We don't wet the bed because we've got strong bladders from sitting through 4-hour movies.
Exactly.
While drinking large sodas. I use the American terminology for you. What else do I need to say? Give me a review. Write a review. Leave a 5-star review, a 1-star review. I don't care. Just tell people about the show, whether you love it or hate it. I love hearing everything about it. And I think that's it. If I've forgotten anything, that's on me. It's been a long show. Thank you again, Michael. I can't wait to have you back on again. We're going to have lots and lots of chats. And as we say every single goddamn week on this show, guys, I was a teenage film snob, but I'm trying to be better. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.